Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. Aaron Rai shot a 5 under par 65 in the final round of the PGA Championship, finishing 9 under for the tournament and winning by 3 strokes. It was the Englishman's first major. Rai becomes the first Englishman to win the tournament in 109 years. The Cleveland Cavaliers are heading to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2018. They rout the Detroit Pistons 125-94 in Game 7. Donovan Mitchell led the way with 26. Jared Allen chipped in 23, and Evan Mobley had 21 and 12 in the win. The Cleveland Guardians took round 1 of the Ohio Cup, beating the Cincinnati Reds 10-3. The Guards hit 6 home runs in the game and took the series 2-1. The Columbus Crew has fired head coach Henrik Rydstrom. This one's sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Bake is here. Isaiah is here. Loaded up on a Monday, short week for a lot of people, Monday edition. A lot of people turn this into the big 4-day weekend. You get your Friday, get your Monday. Hard to believe we're here already with Memorial Day weekend, but indeed that we are. I spent the entire weekend in Canton. Friday night, Bootsy had games up in Canton with lacrosse tournament, and then on Saturday we had Beamsy and Bootsy playing all day up there. Ran into Bob. We actually played Bob's team in the semifinals. Beamsy's team played Bob's team in the semifinals, and it was great seeing him, and that was great. And then NBC was all set to play on Sunday in the tournament. So it was basically a full weekend in Canton, and we're in the second half of the first game. He plays attack. So if you're not familiar with lacrosse, what would be the best way to describe it, Isaiah? He's a forward.
Yeah, forward.
The easiest way to say it.
Yeah, he's in the front.
Yes,
he's
striker,
a scorer.
Whatever. Yeah. So he's an attack, and he makes a move on the wing and dodges the long pole, the defenseman, and a midi came over, and it's just an illegal cross check. He just had his hands on his stick like this and just cross checked him right underneath the helmet in the jaw, just right in the jaw. So NBC, Bob actually made me this wasn't the best Bob move ever. I wasn't real thrilled with Bob in this, but the day before, he made me stand and do like a height thing with NBC. And NBC's now 6 feet tall. So he's got me by about 1.5 inches is about what we're looking at here. So I'm not exactly thrilled about all of this. And Bob had to point that out. So I'm very thankful. Then Bob says to me, he goes, how tall are your brothers? And I said 6'5" and 6'1". And he goes, so hold on, you're the oldest and the runt? And he goes, that must have sucked. And I said, yeah, it did. But I'm okay. It's fine. It's all worked out fine, Bob. I appreciate your concern, which is a funny line. So anyway, so he's a big kid. He's 6 feet tall, 160 pounds or something like that. So for an 8th grader, he's a pretty decent sized kid. And he got KO'd. I mean, it's just a totally illegal cross check to the jaw. He goes down. He never stays down, but he stayed down, and he's just writhing in pain, which I've never seen from him ever. So now you start to get a little worried. And I never run right out there. Always, give it a minute, let the coaches kind of handle it, look for a thumbs up or thumbs down from a coach, and then I'll go out. And this was at 8:40 in the morning. Our first game was at 8 o'clock in the morning, so we're in the second half. And I go over, and then it's like, okay, we got problems. Like we may have broken jaw, we may have concussion, we may have all of these things. Luckily, we incredible family friends, an oral surgeon, and gave him an on-site evaluation and an examination, and then opened up his practice, and we were able to get an X-ray, CT scan, all of this. The crazy thing about all of this, and anybody, I don't even know in another sport, I suppose this would be like if you were in basketball, if you were going up for a layup and you got clotheslined, like that type of violent, like clotheslined and then just slammed into the ground type of thing is what this was. The referee right in front of the play, because they always have one on the attack and then one opposite midfield. The one in the attack was not 10 feet from NBC and didn't even see it, which is impossible because it's a shot, for crying out loud. It's a shot. So I don't know what he was watching. Luckily, the referee across the field did, so he assessed it was a 1-minute penalty for this hit.
No 2 minute non-releasable?
Non-releasable. No, just 1 minute and releasable, and that was it. And it comes back to something that we got an email about this in youth sports. We have reached the point, long story short for NBC, he's going to be fine. Severe trauma to the jaw, soft foods for a week, painkillers, all of that stuff. So he's kind of floating right now. So, and then we'll just watch for the concussion stuff. And I've done all the concussion protocol training and stuff. So keep a close eye on that, and we'll see how it all goes. But theoretically, he's all going to be just fine. And I don't need a pound of flesh for the kid, but I do think we've reached the point in youth sports where the amount of sports that is being played by youth cannot properly or even possibly be officiated correctly by the people who are in charge of doing it. There just aren't enough people. There aren't enough people to officiate it. There aren't enough people who know what they're doing to officiate it. And it leads to stuff like this was building. It was building. Like this, the physicality just kept building. And Bake, you and I were talking about this when we were at the game last weekend. We were watching kids. Like, if you give kids an inch, they take a mile and a half on physicality. I see this in football. I see it in basketball. It's definitely a problem in lacrosse for sure. I don't know what the inch and equals a mile and a half in baseball would be because you don't have that physicality to it. That's probably more like the celebratory home run dances and all of that stuff that drive people absolutely nuts in youth baseball. But I do think we've reached a tipping point in youth sports where we don't have enough people. And I don't blame them, by the way parents talk to officials, which is an entirely different topic. That's abhorrent, the way that some parents talk to officials. I hear it. I hear a lot of it. I don't say anything. Just go in the corner. I don't say anything. Bake, you witnessed this. But people do. And so I don't blame them for not wanting to do it. But we are at a point where there aren't enough people who are willing and able to officiate juxtaposed to the amount of activities that they're trying to be officiated. That's where I'm at with it, that there just aren't enough folks. And it manifested, unfortunately, for my oldest this weekend. And that's the way that it goes. But it could have been your kid, could have been it could have been any kid that this happened to. Could have been anyone. And we're quite frankly lucky that it wasn't a broken jaw. Really, really fearful that it was, is what the initial diagnosis was fearful that it would be. So he's going to be fine. But the reason we get to that point is the thing that I think is the fulcrum of all of this, is there's just too much damn activity, not enough quality people who know what they're doing to officiate it, and the ones who are great are on a little bit of an island and really don't want to come back because sometimes the way that parents talk to them. So I do think we're at a tip, and I'm in it. And I know a lot of you out there listening are in this world, and whether it's lacrosse, soccer, I've heard, is a brutal one. My kids don't play soccer. I've heard that's a brutal one with officiating, with some of the physicality that happens there. And again, I'm not throwing this on the officials. I'm not. I don't think that there's enough of them. And I think that it's a thankless job, and we need to pay them a lot more so better people continue to do it, is kind of my thesis on this thing, so that these folks have a real understanding of what's done. And then it also falls on coaching, right? If you coach that stuff, then that's the type of stuff that you're going to get. So there's just so many kids playing it, and there's a ton of issues with it all over the sport, no matter what sport your kid plays.
The coaching is part of it, right? Because yeah. I said something to you yesterday when we were texting about all of this, that if coaches are going to let players play that way, then coaches need to be held accountable.
Yes.
And listen, I'm all for playing hard and tough in sports. I'm also not for playing dirty in sports. And if you're a coach and you allow that to happen, and I feel like it used to be a coach would pull a kid off the field, and he could do that. And he could say, you're not playing the rest of the game or this or that. Well, now you have parents revolt against the coach. You mentioned, I wouldn't want to coach youth sports. I wouldn't want to officiate youth sports. I don't want anything to do with them because the parents' behavior is ridiculous. And it's so funny, Bo. Scotty and I were talking yesterday about this 2014 playoff, and he is all for it. Scotty Vegas is all for a 2014 playoff.
Just to bet it?
And, just to have more college football. He loves college football. He watches San Jose State versus Fresno State on a Tuesday, and he wants all of that.
He watches it.
So, but my point with all of this, and I know when is the point where it's enough, and you're like, well, it's never going to be enough. We always say that. Everything in society has gotten to the point it was. We've eroded things little by little, where it's like, that's not a big deal. Well, that's okay. What is that? That's no big deal. But you keep letting all of these little things happen, and then you turn around and you're like, what the hell happened to the sport I love? Or what the hell happened to the world I lived in? Well, you remember all those little things you said were okay? Well, they all added up, and now you have this.
Yep, I think that's fair.
And you can feel it build, too. And Bo talked about that during the game. You can always tell when a game is getting out of hand. You say, try to keep it under control, try to keep it under control. And the best thing the refs can do is try to call more penalties throughout the game to try to not let it get out of hand, try to discourage it. And then for the coaches, and this is something that my brother and I coach high school lacrosse, that we've gotten better at throughout the years, but it's just managing your own players' emotions. You always have some players that are more emotional than others, and during the game, those emotions can get the best of them, and especially when it starts to get more physical, knowing when you just need to pull them out for a second and just say, you just need to take a break for 30 seconds, you need to take a run off and let somebody else go, and then just cool yourself down and go back out there. But that's the hard part. It gets so emotional, and I think for the referees, for the fans, for the parents, for the coaches, youth sports to high school sports to college sports, there's so much emotion in it, and it's hard to control when you're in the moment. Everybody acts differently than they would the following day, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, I think my thing would be like the two quick elixirs. We're never going to stop the growth because it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All of these sports are youth sports, just such a massive industry now. So much money to be made that no one's ever putting that genie back in the bottle. But if there is coaching accountability to what Bake said, you're done. That's it. You're done. And that has to be a non-negotiable. You're done. And then if there's, from a refereeing standpoint, and I am so thankful I always go up to a referee afterwards, thank you. No matter if I think that they did a good job or not, thank you for doing it. Thank you, because it's thankless to do that job. The one thing I would say, and I say this to basketball, everything, call it ultra tight early. Call every game ultra tight early, and then the kids will conform to you. If you give a little bit here or there, to Bake's point, all those little hits end up being something crazy by the end of the game. So call it tight as possible early, and then you can loosen the reins as the game goes along. But the kids conform; they will conform to you. We had a pretty fun little sports Sunday. I don't know that either of the things had much for drama. The PGA Championship kind of ended up being a runaway by the time all was said and done. Same thing with the Cavs last night. We will get into all of that. The Big Ten meetings, they've invited folks. You won't believe where they're hosting it. We'll get that coming up at 10 o'clock. We're off and running on a Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and wow, time really does fly by. Last year feels like 2024. 10 weeks ago feels like yesterday. That's how quick Reclaim by Awaken 180 is and feels. 10 weeks to do what took you 5. 10 years to pile up the weight. 40 pounds gone in 10 weeks. That's what I did. That's what Awaken 180 Reclaim was built for. And I'm telling you, when that kind of weight comes off, life starts feeling a little bit different very fast. Your clothes fit differently, you move differently, you carry yourself differently. Even walking into a room feels different when you're not thinking about your weight before anything else. That's why Reclaim by Awaken 180 makes so much sense to me. It gives you a simple 10-week plan with a real beginning, a real end, and a real finish line. Not someday, not I'll figure it out. 10 weeks to finally go after it and achieve it. And the best part, keeping it off with free support for life. I did it, so you can definitely do it. Reclaim by Awaken 180. Start today at awaken180weightloss.com.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, what are we wearing?
Lie detectors. Anytime a lie is detected, we get a little shock.
All right, let's try them. So, Pella was rated by homeowners as the leading window brand here in Columbus.
Nothing? Okay. Well, our windows can change the look of your home. Ow. This thing sometimes shocks you when you tell the truth. Ouch. It's okay. I'm having fun.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn, skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Is it time to renew your Medicaid coverage? Don't miss out. When you renew your AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio benefits on time, you keep more than just your health care. You keep your extra perks too. That means doctor visits, dental, vision, plus extra benefits like school supply funds, baby essentials, rewards for health trivia games, and more. Don't risk losing the coverage and extras your family counts on. Visit AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com/renew today. That's AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com/renew.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine today, and it will be breezy, humid, and warm with highs again into the upper 80s to low 90s in some spots. For tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows down into the 70s, and we'll still see those breezy winds, which will persist into your Tuesday. Mostly sunny to start and breezy with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Highs will be in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, pop quiz. Had either one of you heard of Aaron Rye before yesterday?
I had, because I feel like doing updates. He's been in some tournaments before where he was near the leaderboard or you had to announce his name, so I had to look it up and know that it was pronounced Rye.
I could have met this guy at my local gym yesterday, and he could have introduced himself to me, and I would have no idea who he is.
He'd be walking down a high street with a shirt that says, "I'm Aaron Rye," and you still wouldn't know who he is?
Wouldn't have known.
Well, we know now. We know now because he shot 65 in the final round of the PGA Championship to win by 3 shots over John Rahm. The leaderboard was littered with some big-time names, with Rahm just a couple of shots back. Justin Thomas threw a 65 on the board. Ludwig Oberg was in the mix. Rory was in the mix until finally towards the end. Schauffele was in there. There was a ton of star power on this leaderboard in an event that, and we'll get to this in just a second, an event that I think needs to do a little bit of amending to the way it goes about its business, because it does feel like it's getting lost or has gotten lost in a big, big way. But Aaron Rai is the story here. He is the first English-born player to win this event in 109 years.
That's crazy.
Craziness. And the story behind him is crazy too. I love this because he's wearing the two gloves, which you get, a lot of times you get made fun of if you're doing that. There's this great story about how his dad, they grew up in a working class family in England. He got a set of pings when he was like 12 years old that were ultra expensive, and his dad would take pins and baby oil and clean them after every round. And so if you watched his bag, you'd notice that he had iron covers on every iron, which that was what that was in homage to. And then he wore the two gloves because when he was a kid, it was cold, and in order to hit balls, he had to wear two gloves. And so he continues to wear the two gloves. He hit it straight. A 70-foot putt to kind of ace the thing is the one that I think everyone's going to remember. He ended up running away from it, as I mentioned. He spoke yesterday post-round about being the first English player to win this thing in over a century.
Wasn't actually aware of it until yesterday. I think in this room yesterday it was mentioned, which was the first to my knowledge. But yeah, extremely proud. There's a lot of incredible and historic English players over those 100 years who have gone on to achieve incredible things and had phenomenal careers. But to win this event and to be a person that's the first one to have won it in such a long time from England is an amazing thing and something to be extremely proud of.
All of these massive names who have won majors are trying to chase him down. He put it on ice with the putt on 17. Here he is on that.
I think, firstly, the golf course really demands it. It was a true major championship setup in terms of how difficult it was, how penalizing it was, but it also rewarded you for good play. So I think the nature of the course and the nature of the shots that are required over the last few holes just require a lot of attention and a lot of focus. And yeah, that putt on 17 was incredible. Was just trying to focus on speed and get it close. It started to look really good line-wise with probably about 15 feet to go. Slowed up really nicely as well, so it just kind of conspired all together for that ball to go in the hole. But an incredible putt and a real bonus to see that one go in.
How much of this did you guys watch over the weekend?
I was actually locked in to quite a bit of it. Yesterday, I think yesterday I was locked into the Reds and Guardians until close to the end, and that one was out of hand. And then I went over to the PGA, and I watched a lot of it. Now I was doing other things at the house, had things going on, but it was on the TV for quite a bit yesterday.
I watched a bit of it on Saturday, but yesterday was Gardos and Reds, and then prepping for the Cavs game. I did not catch this on my Sunday afternoon yesterday, but I watched a good portion of it on Saturday.
Yeah, I watched quite a bit of it in the afternoon. Yesterday it was so nice, and we finally had like a great day, so we were outside quite a bit yesterday. So I kind of was paying attention to it as it was going on. Had father-in-law's 75th birthday party, so it was kind of on there. So we watched as it kind of came to conclusion. Watched more of it actually with you Saturday, Isaiah, just because the weather wasn't quite as great. We had some rain in the afternoon and stuff, so that was a little bit different. To me, guys, it felt like a U.S. Open. It just felt like a U.S. Open. It had the look of a U.S. Open. The course had a setup like the U.S. Open. The scoring, for the most part, now they were able to, take some from it over the weekend, but the scoring was relatively reminiscent of a U.S. Open. There were some 65s out there, but it's a par 70 course, so, that's not absurd to do that. That's rare in a U.S. Open, I suppose. So maybe the scoring was a little bit better, but it looked like a U.S. Open. It felt like a U.S. Open. It takes place in a time of year that to me, it gets lost. I know that they wanted to get the PGA, the chase for the FedEx Cup. They wanted to get that away from the NFL, and that's why they moved the PGA Championship into May. But the more and more that they've been doing this, and they've been doing this for a couple of years now, this ain't it. This is not it. It gets lost. It is a fail. It's a fail for the sport. There was absolutely no buzz around this thing at all. And if you think about what is Jim Nance's line used to be on the PGA Championship, Glory's Last Chance or something like that. Is that what he called it? It had at least that part of the identity to it.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that the PGA really is screwing up here is playing what I consider kind of U.S. Open courses. I mean, this is a U.S. Open type course. They're going to play Shinnecock. They're going to play the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Those are U.S. Open courses. They have a feel of a U.S. Open. And right now the PGA Championship just has no damn identity at all. And I think this thing really gets lost. It was I didn't hear people talking about it. And if you're at U Sports, you know that you always have like an hour between games to kind of just shoot the breeze. There wasn't anybody talking about this of people who normally would.
And it's kind of crazy because of the leaderboard that was there heading into the final day. You had Rahm in the mix. You had Rory in the mix. You had Xander in the mix. Scotty was lurking. He wasn't right there, but he was lurking. Justin Thomas had a great day yesterday. He shot a 65, too, to kind of get himself in the mix. You kind of thought as the day was going on, maybe Justin Thomas was in the best spot because he was in the clubhouse, posted the number and waiting, but then Rye did what he did. Bo, the one thing, and I mentioned I watched a lot of this weekend, that crowd, to me, was atrocious. What are we yelling for? And I know this has always been a thing of golf, but it seemed really bad this weekend. What are we yelling for as soon as a guy hits a shot? You have no clue if that shot's good or not. You have no clue where that shot's getting. And the things these guys were yelling were just complete nonsense. It didn't. It didn't make any sense. It was nothing. Like, what are we doing? It almost made me turn the TV off.
Well, it manifested with Rory on the par 5 yesterday, where if he makes eagle, he could have got it to within a shot of the lead. He bombed at 340 down there. Then his second shot's in the rough, and in his backswing, somebody yells, "Go, USA, USA," or something like that in the backswing. Then he has the guy escorted out. Then his second shot is in too, and somebody yells in that backswing, and then he has that guy escorted out. So it's like, how did we get to this point where we have no decorum or no way how to behave?
And it was a Rory drive. It might have been on that par 5 even where you're talking about, where he hits the drive and everybody's screaming and going nuts, and the drive's awful. It's in the middle of the rough in the left, and he overcooked it on the draw.
Okay, maybe a different one then.
So it might have been a different hole. Right. But it was just brutal.
Yeah. We right now are in a situation where we feel like we can say anything, anywhere, anytime, any place without consequence.
And it's that little erosion we talked about, right? Like, you're like, you're no fun. You're an old fuddy-duddy. Well, now we're here.
Just behave yourself.
And it's across all sports, too. Like, we saw it last night with Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs against the Pistons. Like, the fans getting it into with some of the Cavs players. And that's just across all sports right now. Fans feel like they can say anything they want. And golf is like the last place you should feel that you can do that.
There's a great Ron White bit where, and I'll butcher it, but just look it up because it's great. But he gets arrested from being drunk in public. And he says, he goes, "I was drunk in a bar. You drug me out into the public."
You threw me into public.
Threw me into public. That's what it was. That's the line. You threw me into public. Yeah. We in this country have a real problem with drunk in public. A real problem. We cannot handle our alcohol, and we consume it publicly all day, and then you get liquid courage. You think you can say anything you want without consequences, and I think it leads to it. So, yeah, there's a lot of layers to that. When you mentioned the Cavaliers, there was no drama here, kids, at all. That was a beatdown in the biggest way possible. They're on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since LeBron James was a member of the franchise. We will get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2026 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to relaunch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Gus Teller, a freshman history teacher at Olentangy who truly builds community. Every day, Mr. Teller connects with students, leads with a smile, and makes history meaningful to the students' lives. From bad jokes to Star Trek, Gus creates a classroom where students feel valued, supported, and inspired to understand today's world together.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
All right, if you're planning that summer road trip, before you load up and hit the highway, make sure your vehicle is ready for that journey. At your main Honda of Dublin, you can count on same-day service to get you road trip ready. From oil changes to inspections, it's quick, easy, and done right. So you can drive with confidence wherever the summer takes you. No stress, no delays, just smooth sailing. Stop by Germain Honda of Dublin, just south of 270 on Sawmill Road, or schedule your service anytime at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday edition of the program. That was sure easy. That was kind of over at half for the Cavaliers. They went up to Detroit, hadn't won a road playoff game this entire run, had not been to an Eastern Conference final without LeBron James since 1992. That's how long that it has been. It's been since they've been there at all. Donovan Mitchell has never seen a conference final in his career. He's been to 9 straight playoffs. Every time he's been in the league, he's made the postseason, but has not gotten to an Eastern Conference final, or before that in Utah, a Western Conference final, and now he has. 125-94. Mitchell was sensational in this one. I'll be honest with you guys. My kids were like all jacked up to watch this. They're all into it. My wife's a native Clevelander, so she's all into it, as locked in as can be. I was kind of excited to see like a competitive basketball game, obviously hoping the Cavs could win. It was never that. I was shocked at Detroit's lack of pushback in this game. Stan Van Gundy talked about it a lot on the broadcast, just about how there just didn't seem like they were engaged in any way, shape, or form. The fact that this thing was, 64-47 at the break, and it was consistently over 20 points for much of the second half. I did not have that coming at all. That was a performance I'm not sure anybody saw coming.
Yeah, I don't think so. And you thought that it would be a Game 7, the 1 seed versus the 4 seed. You thought it would be a competitive basketball game, and it just wasn't. And I'm guessing, and Isaiah is one of those, if you're a Cavs fan, you were okay with that because you had a pretty easy night. You could exhale pretty early on. I think for the Cavs and like Kenny Atkinson too, I think it would have been easy for them to play this game tight, especially going up against your old coach. And it's like, we got rid of this guy because we couldn't get to this point. We brought this guy in because we thought he could get us there. And then if that guy would have got there before you, that would have been really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And the Cavs were great. Donovan Mitchell was good. Evan Mobley was strong. And Jared Allen, and I know I've said this before, I don't watch a ton of NBA basketball. And I had the whole thing on last night, Bo, until it was like 5 minutes left. And I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. I can turn this off. It was on the whole night last night, which that hasn't happened at my house in a long, long time with the NBA. Yeah. I don't understand the Jared Allen vitriol. I don't get it. He was big in the first Game 7. He was big in this Game 7. He gets double-doubles all the time. I know Cavs fans say he doesn't always play like that. He's soft. I think the guy's a great basketball player.
And he's turned the corner. I feel like a lot of the hate that Jarrett's gotten over the years all stems back from the first series, probably 4 years ago, against the Knicks. That's 90% of the hate that he gets carries over from then because he was labeled as soft. But I will tell you, after watching this series and this playoff run so far, Jarrett has played so tough. I mean, there was points in the series where JB was complaining. Shocker. JB was complaining about the Cavs being physical, which is completely opposite narrative of where they've been. But I feel like the story last night was Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he controlled the game throughout. If you just looked at the stat sheet, you would say 26 points, solid game from Donovan. But he made it look so effortless last night. And the last time that we talked, Bo, which was after the first 2 games, I was thinking, is Donovan hurt? Like, he looked...
Oh, we talked about that.
Through the first 2 games, he looked like he could not get to the rim. And then since then, games 3 and 4 and so on, he has looked like a completely different player. Last night, he was by far the best player on the court. And Cade Cunningham has been tremendous throughout this series. But last night, Donovan controlled from the start to the finish, and there was never a contest for the Cavs.
I think this validates everything that Dan Gilbert has done, with acquisition. This is the most expensive team in the NBA. I don't know how many people realize that, but it's the most expensive team in the NBA. He's willing to take it all on. Hell, yesterday he rented out 25 buses. 25 buses to bus folks from Cleveland up to Detroit for the game.
Paid for their tickets, too. Not just the bus ride.
Think about that. Tickets and buses? I mean, how many people fit on a bus? Is it 60 people a bus? Does that seem fair? Probably 60 people on a bus? I mean, I went to state school, 60 times 25. That's a lot of folks. And now he's got it. I mean, he's worth billions. But to have the thought to do that, to bring your fans up there and to provide them a way up there and get them all involved in it, this validates all of it. I can't imagine how much Dan wanted this to get to a conference final without LeBron. There is always going to be a little bit of stuff between the two of them, and to get there. And by the way, this is the first time since Price Darty that they've gotten there without LeBron. That's 1992. That group only made one Eastern Conference final, just one. I mean, they're revered up there as if that they played for championships. They didn't. They got to one conference finals in 1992, and at that point, there was no chance they were beating those Bulls teams. The Bulls teams were fully formed at that point. But I think this validates all of it. And Kenny Atkinson spoke post-game about Gilbert, ownership, and the Cavs fans and all that this one represents.
That was so cool. I mean, I think I heard 25 buses came to the game, and I've never seen that in the NBA where a visiting team, brings that many people and they're present. Like we heard them. Now we were making shots, and obviously, the Detroit fans were not jumping, but our people were. I just can't believe how good the seats were that they gave. Like, usually when you bring buses, they put you in, like, we had good seats. That was so cool behind the bench. I think the players and the coaches appreciated it so much.
How do you think that went down? Like, do you think Dan has his assistant go gobble up all the seats on StubHub and SeatGeek and Ticketmaster, go scoop them all up and just start assigning them to season ticket holders? How do you think you go about logistically doing that?
Well, I mean, a lot of his business dealings are in Detroit, so he's probably got the inside hookup, I'm sure. And as an owner,
he basically owns downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
Anytime a building comes up for sale, he buys it.
So they probably just did that, right? They just sent out a blast email to their season ticket holders saying, if you want this, sign up quick. And probably people did that. This here from The Athletic, 1,400 Clevelanders Dan Gilbert paid for and shipped up to Detroit last night.
And you think about, too, in the third quarter, about halfway through, when it was becoming evident that the Pistons were not coming back, the Cavs held them at bay the entire second half by 20 points. You started to hear the Let's Go Cavs chant in Detroit, which when I heard that through the TV, I was like, oh, man, this is a bad night to be a Pistons fan. If you're in that arena right now still, a lot of them had cleared out, and you're hearing Let's Go Cavs chants at home in Game 7. That's one that they're gonna think about for a while, unfortunately.
You go back to Game 7 of the first round series, and, well, heck, let's just take it more recently. You're down 2-0 coming home. Game 3 in Cleveland, and if you lose that game and you go down 3-0, obviously you lose the series. You're not coming back from 3-0. They won that game, but if they lost that game and gone down 3-0, that leads to a summer of, well, we probably need to trade Donovan Mitchell. We're not going to re-sign James Harden. Do you shop Evan Mobley? All of it. Everything that you had built would have come crashing down if they had gone down 3-0. They didn't. They didn't go down 3-0. They battled back. They won the series in 7. I thought they were cooked after they won Game 6 in Cleveland. No chance of going up to Detroit and winning. They did. And now it validates all of it. It validates Mitchell. It validates keeping the front office together. It validates the Atkinson switch and the fact that you beat JB in this game. It validates everything you've been doing. And now you get what we all wanted. For those of us that are like casuals or jumping on a bandwagon, now you get a game every other night. You get the world's most famous arena tomorrow night, which is going to be bonkers, absolutely bonkers. It'll be bonkers up there for games 3 and 4, because that crowd is as fired up as any you're going to find. This is what we want in sports. You want your teams playing massive games, high leverage, big time environments, and it's going to get. There's going to be a bandwagon here that's going to get jumped on, and this is the thing I was always curious about, because the Cavaliers, when LeBron was there, Columbus was Cavs Town 2.0. You couldn't go to a sports bar in this town, a restaurant in this town that had TVs when LeBron was there in the postseason that it wasn't on. Watch parties everywhere, all of that stuff. This will be putting this to the test, because now you're in Eastern Conference Final. Will Central Ohio jump on the bandwagon of this? My hunch is they will. The ratings one way or another will prove it, but my hunch is they will, guys.
I think they're going to. You can kind of feel it down here already. Like, I think last night people were into it, and I think just the way they performed last night, and then the Knicks again to get them back, I do think people are ready to jump on.
And the narrative around this series will be that at this point it's the Knicks to lose. Like, coming into game 1, they're 7.5-point favorites in Madison Square Garden. And even the Pistons series, the Pistons were the 1 seed, but the Cavs were the veteran playoff team. To where when we came into that series, it was, the Cavs should beat the Pistons. That's how, me as a Cavs fan, that's how I felt coming into this series. There will not be a national pundit that picks the Cavs. I'm looking at the odds right now, and the Cavs are the farthest odds to win the finals. They're plus 2,000. The Knicks are plus 550 in third. So that's how much of an underdog you are, and that'll make it more fun.
That's not justified, though, I don't think. You watch a lot more than me. I think they can absolutely beat the Knicks in this
100%. Yeah. That's shocking to me that the odds are that far apart, because coming into this series, yet again, the Knicks will be the favorite for everyone across the country, but there's no reason why not the Cavs, especially the way they played last night. Sam Merrill looked incredible, shooting the lights out. It was a fantastic game. If they play even close to the way they played last night, they can absolutely hang with the Knicks.
All right, coming up next, the Steelers have themselves a quarterback. It's a name that you know, and a big weekend in the diamond for the Scarlet and Gray. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keel's calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Get eco.
Memorial Day is coming.
Yes, it's a day we honor and mourn all the military personnel who died while serving our country.
Yeah, Memorial Day is definitely mostly about that.
Jerry, I've never heard of anything else we're supposed to remember on Memorial Day.
I'm not saying we're supposed to, but there is one other thing I always remember on Memorial Day.
Really?
Get eco.
I always remember to get my AC serviced because air conditioner season starts right after Memorial Day.
And you bring this up because?
I've invented a new offer, and I think people will like it.
Okay, tell me.
For just $99, we go to people's houses and wash the outside coils properly. It makes a huge difference.
And we'll test the whole system to make sure that nothing went bad during the winter when it wasn't being used.
Can we do that for just $99?
I've decided we're going to just do it for $89.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Positive thinking plumbers, electrifying electricians, and $89 HVAC technicians.
Have a great Memorial Day.
GetEco.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $200 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Craving the O? Now it comes to you. For loyal fans, the O on Lane is now offering the O on the Go catering delivery. Perfect for the office or any group. Order boxed lunches or group catering right now at theoonlane.com. The O on the Go, delivered fresh, delivered easy.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I guess in a way, this is what I mean when we were talking about the PGA Championship and talk about how there was just so much going on this weekend. Nothing like a behemoth like the NFL, or nothing like a behemoth like a massive college football game or something like that. But there was all of this playoff stuff on the ice, on the hardwood, all of that. You had the Preakness Stakes this weekend. You had the baseball. You had all of it. You had a signing in the NFL. You had the Buckeye baseball team with a sweep up in Ann Arbor, which was really cool. You also had the news from the Crew. They fired head coach Henrik Rydstrom on Sunday. Joined the Crew this winter, departs just after 14 games, just 13 points, just 3 wins in that time. General Manager Issa Tall with this to The Athletic. You have to look at it from 3 sides. One is obviously results. We have 3 wins in 14 games. 2 is the way we want to play. It's been better now than earlier in the season, but still not there. An example in last night. Lastly, culturally, it did not click. We believe a change was much needed. Credit to them for just shutting it down now and being done with it. Assistant coach Laurent Courtois will take over as interim coach. 1 more league match before the 6-week break for the World Cup. So the timing is nice. Reminds me a little bit of what the Blue Jackets did, huh, Beck?
Yeah, I think that's the significant thing here. If you thought you needed to make a change, and it sure seems like whatever Rydstrom was peddling when he came in here, the team wasn't buying. And it just seemed like a whole overhaul of the way the team was made to play and had played in the past. So if you're going to make a change, this is the time, because you're going to have that World Cup break where you can kind of work on things and get some things in place.
And you only have 14 games. And that's good for the Crew for being able to admit, yeah, this just didn't work. Like, the culture fit, something just didn't work in the locker room. Like you said, the communication, the style, whatever the match was, didn't work, and they were okay with just cutting ties and trying something new. It's better to do that early than do it too late.
Yeah, for sure. The thing I think most people would say, and this ain't the old school where I'm hosting Crew Extra and I'm talking about this every week. Like, I'm not following it the way that I used to do. So I don't know. But obviously, Wilfried Nancy was here, had great success, went to Celtic, did not last long there. As far as I know, he's still available. I would imagine there are people who would want him back. Although I did see the comments from Tall saying, like, look, we're going to give Courtois a shot. He deserves it. So that's how that'll play out, and then be interesting to see beyond that.
It seemed like this morning Brother Bone threw some water on that.
Oh, he's
like, that's not something that's going to happen.
Okay, he would know. He would be plugged in on that. That's not a world that I'm as plugged into as I used to be. Certainly, the baseball, you had the Battle for Ohio took place, and you had the Gardos winning that one 2-1.
Yeah,
Vic,
let's not talk about that.
What happened to your Redlegs, buddy? I was told the first 2 weeks of the season I got to pay attention to Reds baseball.
I think, Bo, that injuries have happened to this pitching staff. And it's just brutal. Like, the starters were good at the beginning of the year, and you didn't even have Lodolo or Hunter Green, and you still haven't had Hunter Green pitch, but Brandon Williamson, shoulder, ouchie. Rhett Lauder, shoulder, ouchie. Brady Singer and he pitched yesterday, and he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't the Brady Singer that you had seen in the past. Took a ball off his foot. And the bullpen, you lose your closer with a hamstring injury, and they're getting taxed more because the starters aren't pitching as long, and it's just not – the pitching staff has not been as good. The bats took a little dip there for a while. They're come back a little bit. They didn't have a terrible series against the Guardians, but the pitching was not good.
And yesterday, the Gardos were just hot. I mean, the bats were hot yesterday. Manzardo finally gets going a little bit, gets 2 homers out of there. Jose hits 1. Bazana had 3 hits coming up from the Clippers. It just, all the bats were hitting yesterday. DeLauder had a home run. Unfortunately, the Reds just landed on the other side of all the hitting.
Was it Rick Manning who went at Manzardo for not having his sunglasses down?
Yes.
That was funny.
Sitting on his hat, losing the fly ball. Classic.
I did like that. I thought that was pretty funny. This was pretty funny as well. Ohio State baseball team went up to Ann Arbor, beat Michigan in Ann Arbor in a sweep for the first time since 1994. Ohio State will be the 6th seed in the Big Ten tournament. They'll square off with 11-seeded Washington. I said this when I first moved up here after covering Southern college baseball for 6 seasons. Man, it's awesome when it's done right. Now, I don't know if it can ever be done right up here. Just climate, it's so hard. But I would say at a lot of those Southern schools, with the exception of football, obviously, in some places, men's basketball, women's basketball, the South Carolinas, LSUs, those type of places, Tennessee, obviously, for women's basketball. With the possible exception of that, college baseball in those places is the biggest thing going. And it's in a lot of instances, it's bigger than basketball. Like when I was in Tallahassee, the Florida State baseball team was much bigger deal than the Florida State basketball team. Much bigger deal in terms of what people were talking about, what people paid attention to. I don't know if we'll ever get to that point here. I don't know if it'll ever put that back. I mean, it's been forever since a Northern team has contended at the very, very apex of the sport. And I think climate's a big part of it. But that's an awesome win. That's a great series win. And if they were able to make a little run in Omaha, get a little bit of momentum, people would jump on that bandwagon too big.
Bo, this is a Buckeye baseball team that finished 16th out of 17 teams in the Big Ten last year, because Wisconsin does not have a baseball team. Yeah. They don't have a baseball program. So they were next to last. Yeah. Did not qualify for the Big Ten tournament this last year, and I don't think they have for a couple of years. They are the 6th seed now in this, sweeping Michigan. They're hot heading into this thing. The only issue I have here is, and I understand the Big Ten tournament is out in Omaha, so there's a little bit of a time difference. The Buckeyes start tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Now, you can hear it here on the fan.
Hold, please. Did you say 10 p.m.?
10 p.m. 9 p.m. start in Omaha.
Why?
That's bad.
Why?
I don't know.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a 2 a.m. body clock finish.
It's rough. No, I'm guessing you're not quite 2 a.m. unless you're going
3.5, right?
You're getting pretty close.
You're getting close.
I've got some of the baseball games over there producing those, and they touch on 4 hours more than you'd think.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking, that's craziness.
Yeah.
Find another field. I'm sure they're playing at the College World Series place. I wonder if Rosenblatt's still around. They could still play there. Just compete against yourself. I mean, you can't 10 o'clock Eastern? Come on. That's absurd. But, of course, you can listen to it. You can go to sleep. Is that Tyler on that?
Yeah, Tyler Danberg on the call right here on the Fan.
Well, he's got a very soothing voice, so you can put that on as you're going to bed on your that's Tuesday night. That's the way. And then you can watch it, of course, on the Big Ten Network as well. All right. Speaking of the Big Ten is doing what we said it ought to do. Will it work? We'll explain coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Cash, moolah, greenback, stoves, Skrilla, chips, bread and mold, cheddar, butter, lewd and scratch. Find the letters, make a match. Lettuce, gravy, game on the back for $30. That's a wrap. There's many words for cash, no doubt, but there's only one $30 cash word. Check it out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's $30, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions of prizes, don't you know? Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from The Diamond Seller, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Seller, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Seller on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondseller.com.
I keep seeing celebrities posts, me in the 90s versus now. Well, the person staring at me in the mirror is definitely not the same person that could pull off bootcut jeans. Time creeps up on us so slowly. You don't see it until suddenly you do. Same thing goes for your bills. $1 here, an uptick there. It's a slow burn until one day you realize the price you're paying now is way higher than when you signed up. But at T-Mobile, customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their experience plans, you get a 5-year price guarantee, so you know exactly what your plan price will be for the next 5 years. So at least that's one thing that won't change over time. I can't guarantee you'll still look good with frosted tips, but T-Mobile can give you a clear guarantee on your wireless plan.
Lower bills based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 21 to Q4 25 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. An AC tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Proudly serving Columbus homeowners for 90 years and counting. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
SleepBetter.com. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, the new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com. Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. What a night for the Cleveland Cavaliers for the first time since 2018, heading back to the Eastern Conference Finals. They hammered the Pistons last night, 125-94 in Game 7. Donovan Mitchell was in control the whole way. He led the way with 26. Jared Allen had 23. Evan Mobley 21 and 12 in the win. Aaron Rai shot 5 under par 65 in the final round of the PGA Championship yesterday. He finished 9 under for the tournament and won by 3 strokes. It's his first major championship win. Rai becomes the first Englishman to win the tournament in 109 years. The Guardians hit 6 home runs yesterday. They take round 1 of the Ohio Cup, beating the Reds 10-3. The Columbus Crew has fired head coach Henrik Rydstrom and named assistant Laurent Courtois the interim head coach. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Monday. Austin Ward coming up in 28 minutes from now. This is the headline on ESPN at Big Ten Spring Meetings Coaches Lobby for 24-team playoff. We have long lamented that the Big Ten spring meetings ought to be attended by, the media. Last few years, they weren't. They've been on the West Coast for a while. The Big Ten, more than any other operation in college athletics, views itself as NFL light. That's really the way that the Big Ten views itself. It's all going to make sense in a second. The television package is what? It's spread across 3 networks. What is that reminiscent of? The National Football League, right? So you're spread out over multiple networks. You're trying to get gold coins into a pot from all sorts of different places to accumulate the most, and they've done all of that. They've been pretty ruthless with a lot of this stuff, similar to the NFL, in regard to what they're expecting of their teams. See Big Noon for Ohio State, every big game on campus, only forever, until this contract is finally done. Their answer to most things is that's what the money's for. Well, this kind of checks that box, too. So the Big Ten meetings are taking place in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. There's one resort in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. It's called Terranea. I've been there. My guess is if you were to Google that right now and see what the average price for a room tonight is, I would be shocked if it was under $500. I'd be shocked. My hunch is even with some sort of, surge pricing, that it's around there. At peak times of the year, it's like $1,200 a night, $1,400 a night is the way that this place is. So the Big Ten says, okay, we're going to invite the media to cover our league. And then they send that league to Los Angeles, and they send that resort to one of the ritziest ones that you could go to in California. And that's saying something, because there's some ritzy ones in California. But that's exactly what's happened. So, yeah, you're invited. Good luck affording it. You're not going to take a car. You're going to have to fly. So the majority of the people who cover this league, my guess is, won't be there. Conversely, the SEC is going to have it in Destin. And guess where you can drive to for every single SEC school if you want to? Destin. Guess which is relatively affordable if you want it to be? Destin. That's the difference. Now, they may win on all of this stuff, but you're not going to get a full media throng at this thing. And it's funny because there's actually a quote in this story that Pete Thamel wrote from Jed Fish, and it speaks to exactly what we talked about forever, Bake. I just felt like if messages were getting out of one part of the country and not the other part of the country, some of the things that we wanted to share that we really believe in was getting missed. And so he's advocated for this. I'm not sure he advocated for a 5-star resort in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Well, he probably did. It's a relatively short flight for him compared to other folks, although it's still a long ways. But that's what they're going to get. So they sort of do it, but not all the way that they need to get everybody there that needs to be there.
Some pretty prime real estate out there in Rancho Palos Verdes, California.
Nice, huh?
The Big Ten is a conference that is all about making money, but yet they are wasting so much money with this. Like, that you say what you want about getting you want to get every region of your, and I know this is close to LA. This isn't where USC or UCLA are, though. This is a whole different world.
Yeah. It's similar to from a topography. Yeah, it's on the coast. It's on the coast. It's Los Angeles adjacent, but it's literally on the coast, straight west of Los Angeles. Yeah.
This is part of what we're talking about when we say you're slowly eroding away at what people love about this game. And one of the things that people love about college football, as you have talked about forever, Bo, is the regionality. There is nothing about Rancho Palos Verdes that screams Big Ten.
No, there's not.
And I know it's not glorious. Like, you want to scream Big Ten, have these meetings at Lambeau Field.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, what are we? Chicago screams Big Ten. Indianapolis screams Big Ten. And I understand you're throwing a bone to your teams on the West Coast, saying, hey, you won't have to travel as far. And you're also saying, hey, we're trying to get a different audience. But this isn't a Big Ten audience you're reaching right now.
No. I'm going to give you, here are Midwest resort places that if you just wait a couple of weeks, you could have this, and the majority of your constituency could get to it easily. The resort at French Lick. Several great golf courses, nice resort, southern Indiana. A lot of your constituency could drive to that. Kohler, you could go Wisconsin. And you, because they want the golf, because Terranea's got the golf too. So the coaches want to play golf. My guess is your tee times are relatively similar at like Whistling Straits and French Lick as they would be in Rancho Palos Verdes. All of them are expensive. You could do Traverse City if you wanted to go up into Michigan. That's a bit of a haul, obviously, but you could do that. Nemacolin in southwestern Pennsylvania. There's a ton of them that you could have these at. And you would have it be relatively centrally located and still get kind of that resort feel that the Southeastern Conference coaches get at Destin. You could have that exact same thing. It's not exactly the same because this conference is so much bigger, but at least it's in the vicinity. This ain't it. Like, no, I can't imagine. We'll ask Austin in 21 minutes if anybody on the beat is going to this thing. Ryan Day's going to talk. They'll put it all up. I don't think any of the beat is going for it. And it is one more example, though. By the way, the Big Ten may win in all of this. You've got currently the national champion in football, men's and women's basketball. They're all in your league. It's very difficult to sit here and be critical of any of the decisions they made, even if they annoy me, because it's working. The Big Ten has never had more power than it does right now. It's never had more success than it does right now. Last 3 national champions in football. When is it? 3 different schools. I mean, a basketball national championship, that you got to go back to Mateen Cleaves to find the last time the Big Ten won a basketball championship before Michigan did it. We don't like talking about it around here, but it's fact.
Maryland, Juan Dixon, come on,
They
Bo.
were in the ACC, Coach.
Come on, Bo.
I'm not letting them do that. That one killed me when they did the Legends and Leaders, and they were talking about, like, the Tommy Frazier quarterback of the year. Stop it. You don't get their history. You get Nebraska, you get Maryland, you get them once they join your league. You don't get their history and get to trumpet it as your history.
And doesn't it feel like for this too, like the Big Ten obviously has always been seen as the Midwest, but them doing this, I feel like it's where they want to be seen as. Like when we had Oregon, USC, Washington, like obviously you add in some West Coast there, and then you bring the meetings, the minds together, and whenever this happens, everybody imagines, oh yeah, get the football guys in the room. Where really, in reality, the only people that matter in any of these meetings are the money people. They're the ones making all the decisions.
Yeah. And one of the marching orders that's become abundantly clear coming out of this is come hell or high water, we're going to have a 2014 playoff, and the Big Ten is going to push it and push it and push it. And you will hear it this week. You'll hear it from coaches. You're going to hear from Coach Day. You're going to hear from everybody who coaches in the Big Ten that they want a 2014 playoff. They want it for several reasons. We've talked about some of them, but it's going to be a reality, and how it's managed is going to be absolutely critical. On record, not a fan of it in any way, shape, or form, but we're going to have to get used to it because it is absolutely coming. The crazy thing about it is I don't know anybody who wants it other than the administrators and everybody who's looking for the found money. We will get into kind of the way they're going to pitch this coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you'd want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
How do you make a UDF ice cream quake? Easy. Pick any flavor of UDF ice cream, add your favorite mix-ins, and you've got a quake. Now, how do you pick your flavors and mix-ins? That's the hard part. Ice cream quakes, only at United Dairy Farmers.
Jack Nicklaus's unrivaled vision. World-class competition. Yes. Golf's greats honor. Impactful charitable giving, loyal fans and volunteers, an iconic history defined by one handshake on the 18th green. June 1st through 7th, buy your tickets to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. Visit memorialtickets.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Columbus drivers, there's a new Ford service team in town, and we're ready to earn your business. At the Capital Ford of Columbus Service Department, we believe service should be easy. That's why we can come to you. Need an oil change, battery, recall, or routine maintenance? Our mobile service team brings a certified Ford service technician right to your home or workplace. No waiting rooms, no wasted time. And when you do visit us, you'll see what makes a new dealership different. We work harder to show we care. Call or schedule online today with Capital Ford in Whitehall. 614-300-6657.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Rothman and Ice are broadcasting live from the Memorial Pro-Am, and they'll be talking to very famous athletes and actors. And did you know that it's sponsored by the Waterworks and Ohio for Responsible Gambling? It is. Catch it all Wednesday, June 3rd at noon. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine today, and it will be breezy, humid, and warm with highs again into the upper 80s to low 90s in some spots. For tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows down into the 70s, and we'll still see those breezy winds, which will persist into your Tuesday. Mostly sunny to start and breezy with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Highs will be in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying. It's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Solar, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. Sawmill, Easton, they'll take care of you. I assure you of that. This is from Pete Thamel's piece out in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, where the Big Ten is meeting. Coming off 3 consecutive national titles in football, the Big Ten's voice will be heard louder this offseason. The league formally invited reporters to the spring meetings, a departure from the recent past and a move that mimics the heavily covered SEC meetings that take place annually in Florida after Memorial Day. Well, 2 other factors that are fail here is, number one, these are going to take place on West Coast time, Pacific time, so you're going to be 3 hours behind the East Coast where much of the news is generated. So there's another thing that they kind of short circuit on this thing. But I suppose they can say they're trying. Several of their coaches have their marching orders as well, including our guy. But let's start with this from PJ Fleck, who's quoted in the Pete Thamel piece about the 2014 playoff. Quote, it got tremendous steam and power behind it, especially from the 18 head coaches in the Big Ten. When you do a lot of things that everybody's 18 for 18 for what we should do, I think it speaks volumes. So every coach, according to PJ, is on this thing. The idea, Pete Thamel writes, that would coincide with other changes, including the elimination of conference title games and moving the start of the season to week 0. Well, that part I'm for. It would also mean the football season would have to end earlier. That part I don't understand. Would have to end early. It wouldn't have to. You could choose to end it earlier if you want, which I think would be smart, as this upcoming season doesn't end until January 25th. Coach Day, who said this exact same thing to us when he was on with us a couple of weeks ago, the season needs to be pushed up. We need to finish the season much sooner. Let's have this all done by the first week of January so we can have a season that makes sense. The one thing that I absolutely... I can't stand a 24-teamer. We've been talking about it off and on for about 2 weeks. I can't stand it. I understand why PJ Fleck would want it. I get that, because now he has something that he can shoot for. He can go 9-3, and he will make the playoff, and he can tell his bosses, look, we're a playoff team. don't misconstrue this. There are two things this is about. There's the reason coaches are behind it is that one reason. Now we have something we can strive for that is attainable. PJ can't walk into his bosses at Minnesota and say, "We can contend. I need this to be able to contend for a Big Ten championship. I need this to contend for a national championship." But he can go into his bosses and say, "If you give me this, I can go 8-4, I can go 9-3, and I can make the playoff." And then if his bosses say, "Well, okay, but what does that mean? Like, are you a contender then?" If you hooked him up to a lie detector test, he'd say, "No, I'm not a contender, but I'm in the dance. I'm in the dance." And that'll mean a lot to our fans. And to Doug's point from a couple of weeks ago when he joined us on a Friday, that would be probably the biggest game in the history of Minnesota football. If somehow they got to host a playoff game, it would probably be the biggest game in Minnesota football. I don't care about it. I'm not going to care about it, but I understand why they do. And I understand why people like PJ are rallying for this. I don't understand why the top of the sport is rallying for this. That part I don't get.
So, real quick, on Pete Thamel's piece here at the top where he says, outside the meeting rooms, it prominently featured the 3 national championship trophies won by the conference this year. And he talks about the Indiana football trophy and the 2 basketball trophies with UCLA and Michigan. Did they have the 3 shirt? Like, did they have a table right next to that where they were selling the football national championship shirts right there? Like, I feel like that should have been there next to it, or make all the coaches wear that shirt this week. Bo, you said 2 things here, and I think you're mostly right on the one, but when you say that about PJ Fleck, and you say he can't go to his boss and say, "If you give me this, I can become a contender," I'm pretty sure we probably all said that about Indiana football, too.
Yeah.
Now, I know Minnesota doesn't have the resources that Indiana does. It doesn't seem like, with their boosters and their donors. But if you're feeling that way and you're PJ Fleck, Minnesota needs to get rid of him and find a new coach anyway. Because you should all be striving to win it all. You should all be doing everything you're doing to win it all. And I know some programs have limitations, but we all would have said that about Indiana the year before last. And I also think these coaches need to be very careful, because there is going to be an initial, "Oh, you made the college football playoff." Well, now it's easier to get in. So if you're not getting in, I don't think your job security is going to be great, quite frankly. It may have an initial bump. But if you're not getting in this thing, what are we keeping you for?
I think it's both of those. I think it'll be that. In the initial, it'll be we make the playoff, and that'll be 3 to 5 years. And then eventually it'll evolve into, okay, so what? You made the playoffs. Now go win a game. And it's all just kicking the can down the road, Isaiah. That's all it is.
And you think about, too, once you do expand to 24, when you're at 12 where we're at right now, like, you can still, from a committee standpoint, look at the top 15 teams and be able to discern decently on who should be in the top 12. I feel like once you get to 24 teams, it will be so political on the back end of deciding who gets into the playoff. Like, who really is, what's the difference between Illinois and Michigan when they both have 3 losses? Or Michigan and USC, or Michigan and Clemson. And so once you get so far down the line, I feel like it'll get so much more skewed into, well, how many teams does the Big Ten have in? Does the SEC need 1 or 2 more? What about the ACC? Have we included them yet?
And when you do that, and it's the thing I hate most about all of this, we start looking at who had the better losses. Who cares about losses?
Oh, that's coming, yeah.
Let's win games. Isn't this about winning? But this,
well, it is, yeah.
But we lost to Texas, and they're a little better than Texas A&M, so we deserve to be in. Like, I hate that when we're breaking down who had the better loss.
Don't even think about it. Of the 24 teams, what does your gut tell you? First thing off the top of your head when I say how many will be SEC Big Ten of 24?
I can't believe, but somebody said this the other day. I don't remember if it was on this show or if it was something else, where you're going to have 8 from the SEC and the Big Ten, and that's just
16 of the 24.
Gross.
It's definitely going to be 7. Right away, I went 7 or 8 from each conference, and then the ACC is probably getting like 3.
If they go 3 ACC, 3 Big 12 automatic, now you have 18 left. If you go 7 automatic from the Big 10 and the SEC, now you have 4 left. You're going to go...
Notre Dame's going to get one of those.
Notre Dame's going to get 1, and then you're going to go automatic qualifiers, maybe 2, and then an at-large. That's where it's headed.
That is disgusting.
It is. Just here's your 7. If it's 7, this is what it would have been last year. This is after it all was done, but you can play along. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, Michigan, Iowa, Washington, Illinois, all automatic qualifiers. Guess who was 8th? Minnesota.
And somebody yesterday said, well, there's 130 college football Division I teams. That's 24 is only 18%. That's way less than the others. And I know college football is changing a little bit here, but I would argue like the NFL, the difference between 1 and 32 is like the difference between 1 and 10 in college football.
I agree.
And the difference between the pro models and the college models is the pro model, you might have Patrick Mahomes for 10 years. So you can just slot the Chiefs in, they're going to be there. At the college model, there's rollover. Like we saw with Indiana this year, there's opportunities to build a program. There are in the pro models too, but the turnover continually happens. And like we've said before, there's many teams that have been ranked in the top 25 all across the college football landscape. Any team that you can think of in the past 10 years at some point has been in the top 25, but getting into the playoffs shouldn't be a free throw. Like it should be chipping in for Eagle. Like we cannot have it be anybody can do it. It needs to be something you strive for at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know that the SEC and ESPN can hold this off. I really don't know. There was so much momentum for this because everybody wants kind of what this is, which is a get-out-of-jail-free card. I said there were 2 reasons this were happening. So that's why it's happening from the coach's perspective. The reason it's happening from the suits' perspective, and by the way, the suits in this conversation are the university presidents, athletic directors. The reason it's happening for them in the Big Ten, the reason the Big Ten is pushing this so hard, is because they want this extra inventory for their television partners. That's what it's about. It's about getting Fox, NBC. We had Joshua Perry. We talked about this last week with him. He works for NBC. It's about getting Fox, NBC, giving them a bite at the playoff apple. Right now, this has been so haphazardly planned and executed that ESPN, which has the rights to the college football playoff exclusively, can't even air the games because of pre-existing contracts with other sports. That's why these games are on TNT a lot of times. They farm it out to TNT because they don't have the space. And oftentimes it's not an NFL game that they're broadcasting instead. Hell, last year it was college basketball. They were contractually obligated to show college basketball on those Saturdays where they jammed this playoff in, and that was only a 12-teamer. The other thing I really don't understand is how you're going to get all of this done by the first week of January. That part I don't get either. I don't know how there's enough weeks to go because you're going to have an 8-team play-in. You're going to have 8 teams with byes, 16 play-ins. So you're going to have 8 games the first weekend that feed into 8 seeded teams. You're going to have to jam it in there in a big, big way. This all loses. I don't know a single person I've talked to. Bob and I talked about this in between lacrosse games on Saturday. It can't be anybody who wants this.
But yet they're going to make a ton of money, and the new TV contracts will, and I'm guessing we're all going to watch. So the only way this doesn't win for them is we all boycott and don't watch it. But we know that's not going to happen. We're all going to watch.
And the only
thing that can hold it off is the SEC right now and ESPN. ESPN really, more even than the SEC. Go ahead, Isaiah.
And even with, diluting the regular season, which is what this will do, whether you like it or not, it will dilute the regular season. But the ratings during the regular season will still be there. Like for college football, the ratings are still going to be there. And so it's just a double win for the TV money. And then you get to the end of the line. The only thing I could see that could be an issue is you start running into crossover with the NFL maybe a little bit once you get to the playoff time. Like maybe that could hurt ratings, but more games means more money. That's what it means.
That's all, yeah, and it's going to end up prevailing. Austin in 2 minutes on all of that and more. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, it's important to us that when you call Pella Columbus, you talk to a real person.
You should hear how smooth it is when you call us.
You calling right now?
Yep. Oh, here we go. New windows. No. New window. Operator.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible. But Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
Hey everybody, it's Berm. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. Memorial Day is this weekend, and it's the real start to summer. It's happening whether the waistband is ready or not. And look, I'm a pro cookout, pro burger, pro hot dog, cold drink, somebody burning chicken and calling it grilled type of guy. That's not the issue. The issue is starting another summer feeling like you're hiding in your own clothes. I've been there, and I didn't love it. Awaken 180 changed that for me. I lost 40 pounds, and I didn't do it by becoming a monk or eating steamed punishment 3 times a day, and I definitely didn't do it by adding another medication. This is all natural and a healthy way to change your life. Awaken 180 gave me the full game plan, a coach for adjustments, and a way to lose weight while still living like a human being. So here's the blunt version. Summer's basically here. The pictures are coming, the cookouts are coming. You can either make the same promise to yourself again, or you can actually do something about it. Enjoy the summer, enjoy yourself. Awaken180weightloss.com can help you get there.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
And joining this week on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline from his third-floor corner suite at the Terran Resort in Rancho Palos Verdes, California. How's the view of the Pacific Ocean this morning, buddy?
Who told you this information?
Well, I just assumed the Big Ten held their media days at this posh resort in Southern California. I assumed the entire beat was able to go and get rooms and probably some media golf and maybe a little deep sea adventure. None of that stuff's taking place, buddy?
You know what's weird about this, Bo, is that the Big Ten hasn't turned that into, a main media attraction.
Sure
Even
is.
when like 17, 18 years ago, back when I was covering Tennessee, that people were like, well, you're going to Destin in late May. I was like, why? I've never heard of anyone needing to cover these events. Like, they're not going to actually accomplish all that much. It's largely, they do have meetings. They do discuss things that are, pressing business, but there aren't players there. It's one coach and maybe the athletic director. And, it's the middle of the off season. Like, that's crazy, but that has been the approach, and you're already seeing. I just read a story from Seth Emerson on The Athletic, Bo, about them preparing for SEC meetings, and that's still over a week and a half away, previewing that as a major event. And that has not ever been the case for the Big Ten. Probably not for lack of effort on Tony Petitti's behalf, but also you and I both know that he has been pretty reclusive when it comes to interview opportunities. So maybe he won't change that, and I won't have to worry about traveling out there, although the golf does sound pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I was just talking about this off the top of the hour, buddy. Like, this is not a place that's doable for what, 90% of the beat? So they opened it up, like the beat can come now, and that coaches will be available. Pete Thamel's there, Emerson, people are there, they're reporting on it. But this isn't a place that 90% of the beat can get to. And so it's like a half measure from the league, and yet somehow they're kind of still winning this because it feels like inevitably we're going to get to a 24, which is kind of the main marching orders that everyone's kind of been given. But to me, it feels like you have to have this somewhere where the majority of your constituency is, or it's never going to be covered, and it defeats the purpose, let alone the 3-hour time change.
Yeah, it does. It's very strange. And as you said, it's not only that the media can come if they are aware of it, but they're not publicizing it. They did not send out media hotel rates. They did not send out credential information for this. They don't treat it as an actual media event, and that's fine. I am not complaining about that. I had a great weekend here in Columbus with the girls, so I don't necessarily need another opportunity to go cover. But if that's what you want it to be, which Tony Petitti is doing in most scenarios, all he can to make this a 365-day-a-year enterprise for the Big Ten. But as you said, he's doing it often with half measures, and he doesn't really want cameras and microphones in front of his face. And at this point right now, as you're looking with the PR battle that is going to be waging between 24 and 16, because the SEC and Greg Sankey have still not at least publicly budged on their desire to do that, and they have the backing of ESPN to not go beyond 14. They don't want those games bidded out. We all know that. We've covered that ground over and over. But there are still a lot of, for all the things that Tony Petitti has done to put eyeballs on the Big Ten, he resists putting them on himself. And what that means is and there are a lot of things going on with NIL, with contracts, all these other things that we know we beat into the ground on a lot of Mondays. But if the highest profile battle is going to be between Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey for what the playoff format could look like, who's going to win the PR battle? It's the one that invites all the cameras and all the media and has done that for the last 25 years down there in Destin. So it's strange to me because it often feels like Tony Petitti is doing a lot of little finger work behind the scenes, but to win the hearts and minds of people, you're going to have to be out there more publicly, like Ned Stark.
Well, I loved that was well done on you. Let me ask, although he did lose his head, so sometimes that can happen. Let me ask you this.
That doesn't always work, yeah.
Have you talked to a single person who wants a 2014 playoff?
Let's see. No, I don't. I haven't talked to Josh Heupel, though. I think he wants it. I think he
sure
wants
he does.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of fans, no, I haven't. I bet there are people out there that like the idea. And to go back to, Tony Petitti and the lack of PR, I think, if he had more clearly described the vision, I think I made this point to you a week or two ago about what the conference championship weekend and playing in and that look. Yeah, I think he might have been able to win more people over to that side. I don't know if it would have been you or me, but it was an interesting idea that was never really publicly explained by him or anyone in the Big Ten. So in terms of media coverage, in terms of fans that I've talked to, whether that's, on the street or on Letterman Row, nobody is behind this idea. And I don't really understand how gung-ho they have to be about it and or why they are, because everyone is looking at this for the repercussions, and the coaches will say, oh, we didn't know about these unintended consequences of devaluing the regular season. Well, you should, because we all can see that that's what's going to happen, and we've been saying that over and over and over. So, I think that they feel like they could win some points back by scheduling games or continuing to schedule things like Ohio State and Alabama during the regular season, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Miami, whatever it is. But those games are not going to carry the same consequence, and we're also going to get used to seeing them play more frequently in the playoff, whether that's 12, where we've already seen that happen, or 16. In 24, that, what point would there be at all to having those games in September? They would be inconsequential at best and totally meaningless at worst.
So PJ Fleck is quoted in this piece by Pete Thamel, where he says 18 of 18 coaches won a 2014 playoff. And I've heard Ryan volunteer the 2014 playoff.
Yeah.
Why does Ohio State want a 2014 playoff? What are they getting out of it? They got to get more, right? Yeah, I think that they are viewing this as being a team player for the sake of the Big Ten. I don't think they're going to stand in the way of that if it is beneficial. If they have been convinced, which I think they have been, by Tony Petitti, that this amount of money is going to come in through the broadcast deal, this amount of opportunities that are available to the league is better for everyone. If Ohio State plays along with all of this, they're not going to be impacted. They're already not. The 12 and 16, 24, whatever it is, Ohio State has qualified for every version of the playoff, and they will in perpetuity, no matter what it looks like. So they don't. I just don't think that they feel it's necessary to draw a line in the sand on this. If there are enough people, and the push is
for the Big Ten to go along with it, that they don't need to use their power, which they increasingly have over the last couple of years. I think back to you and I having conversations 6 or 7 years ago, Bo, and it was like, why don't they, if they want this, why won't they flex? They're Ohio State. They're the flagship. They're doing that, I think, at a much more consistent and higher level than they ever have. But they're going to, I think, keep the powder dry on this particular issue because the one that matters to them most is looming in 2030. If they do reallocate the way the pie is handed out, if they have more flexibility to schedule when they want, or to play a trump card if they know that they need a night game or want a night game, whatever it is, I think that this is a battle that's like, what's the point of arguing against it? If it feels inevitable for the Big Ten and there is a way to enhance the revenue, all right, let that happen and then save the struggle for another day. And I think that's where they are, because it just, the size of the playoff, Ohio State is relatively unique in that when we evaluate how meaningless some of these non-conference games could be, or access to the playoff, or watering down the regular season, that only really applies to a couple programs, and Ohio State is at the top of that list. That's a first world problem for them, that not all their games might matter as much as they could for Iowa or Minnesota or whoever. So I think that this is a situation where they can sit in the back of the room and let them all weigh it out, what they want to do. And Ohio State's got their eyes on something that's a little bit further down the horizon that will actually more directly impact their standing in college football.
Yeah, this is going to be a very delicate dance that they're trying to do. Interesting to see what the messaging that comes out of the Terranea Resort this week out in Rancho Palos Verdes. All right, buddy. Good stuff as always. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Bo. See ya.
All right, there he goes. Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin Berman, Letterman Row on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes, so you can focus on what matters most. AmazonBusiness.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons, located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Columbus Worthington Air. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. At CWA, we treat your home like it's our own, with safe, reliable service backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit CWAOhio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on new 2026 Tucson SE. 0% plus make no payments for 90 days. Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit on all will qualify. N61.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the O-On Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the O-On Lane, where the night night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued. Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
Common Man and Timmy, they're good, clean boys. If you enjoy a radio show hosted by immature men with slightly above average sports knowledge, they've got you covered.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
The best facial hair on the air. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Scotty Scheffler this weekend finished tied for 14th, just outside of the top 10. He was 2 under par at the PGA Championship. It's the first time that Scotty has finished outside the top 10 in the last 6 majors. Bo, you were talking earlier about the U.S. Open-like conditions at the PGA. After his round on Friday, Scheffler showed that he was not really a fan of the pin positions at Aronimink.
This is the hardest set of pin locations that I've seen since I've been on tour, and that includes U.S. Opens, that includes Oakmont. I asked Fuchs, who caddies for Justin Rose, he's been around a long time, and I asked Teddy too. In the middle of today's round, I was like, have y'all seen anything like this before? And they said maybe Shinnecock is the only place they've seen that had pins that could compare to this. But like it's different in a sense on this golf course because like Oakmont, like their greens are extremely severe, but they're extremely severe in one direction. Here it's like the green may slope all this way, and then we put the pin down here, and then there's also a slope this way, and like it's not as how would you say natural to the slopes that are there. There's a bit more, I think, that's manufactured into the greens, and I mean it's just very difficult. I mean, it's difficult to get the ball close to the hole. It's difficult to hole putts, especially when you have big slopes and wind, and I think that's why you see the scores so close to par.
Thing or not a thing?
It's a thing when the number one player in the world points something out anytime, right? Especially after a major. I think from a fan perspective, not a thing. I don't know what you're supposed to do at a place like this if not for the greens. They don't have trees anymore, so there's nothing really punitive there. Really, the only defense the course has is the greens. If the greens are pretty straightforward, then you're going to have guys 20 under par. Everybody's playing the same course. Rothman would maybe have a better feel on this. Timmy, somebody who's played somebody playing a lot of competitive golf. To me, it feels like you're all playing the same pins. Guys shot 65 on the weekend. That's 5 under in a major. That's pretty dang good. To me, maybe the problem was just the combination of the pins and the wind, which was really a Friday issue. Maybe that's what had him a little bit upset. The fairness of them would be something that I would be ill-equipped to be able to discuss. But I also could say that if they didn't make the pin positions extreme by Scotty's estimation, what's the point? Everyone's going to shoot 62. There's no trees. Like, I mean, if you don't have hazards, there's no water, there's no trees. It's just bunkers. So, like, if you don't have it, what do you have?
And it was something that was talked about over the course of the weekend. And then you get to Sunday and Scotty finishing outside the top 10. I don't think it's a thing for fans. I mean, obviously it was a thing for Scotty all weekend, unfortunately. But for me, it sounds like elite golfer didn't play his greatest game and annoyed at the course. And I'm sure the people at the USGA are probably smiling somewhere saying, oh, the pin positions were hard? It's supposed to be hard. But for all of the golfers, like you said, you're playing the same course. I know that when you tee off throughout the day, things can get different. But at the same time, do you want people finishing 18 under? Is that what we want? Probably not. No. I know it probably makes it more exciting maybe for TV, seeing the birdies and the eagles. But at the end of the day, every course is different, and everybody's playing the same one. Not a thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's your thing right there, Isaiah, is 2 years ago, Xander Schauffele was minus 21. This last year, Scotty was minus 11. Now, Aaron Rye was minus 9, but he was 3 strokes ahead of everybody else. It was minus 6, minus 5, minus 4. I prefer seeing these guys shoot, minus 5, minus 6 rather than minus 20. So yeah. I will take this weekend all day.
Yeah, one of the things Rory kind of was talking about was when you have a course like this in the setup, you don't have a lot of he basically laid this out. There's not a big chance for double bogey. You'll make bogey, you can make a lot of pars, and that's why they had 40 people within a couple of shots of the leaderboard, which, if you were locked into this, had to feel like a win. Because anybody could have won it on Sunday, Bake.
Yeah, and like I said, I think this weekend was much better than some others that I've seen. Speaking of the PGA, I kind of forgot this, Bo, until I think it was Michael Collins. I saw him doing a thing on it.
Okay.
Fans with general admission tickets at the PGA, they will have they get unlimited access to market concessions at Aronimink this past weekend. Those included hot dogs, cheeseburgers, plant-based burgers, salads, as well as breakfast items like chicken biscuits, donuts, Lay's chips, roll gold pretzels, nacho cheese Doritos, Rice Krispie treats, Grandma's oatmeal raisin cookies. There was also Gatorade, water, and pop. When you go to the PGA Champ Market concessions, you get unlimited 1 drink, entree, and snack per stop. If you wanted alcoholic beverages, those are sold separately with prices starting at $15. There is no limit on the number of times fans can return to the concession stand. However, the website does note abuse or excessive utilization could lead to suspension or being banned from access to prevent food waste and unauthorized sharing of the tickets. Thing or not a thing?
First thing I thought of was when Kramer gets the lawsuit that Jackie Childs is actually going to get him a payout for it. Instead, he just gets like free cafe lattes for life is like his whole operation. He's just sucking down cafe lattes left and right. I just imagine people like trying to suck down hot dogs and cheeseburgers to make this somehow worth it. Good on them. Good on them. To me, this would be, I'm guessing they didn't have many problems with this at all. Like, who's going to want to get 6 cheeseburgers or 6 hot dogs? Like, you can only eat so much of this stuff. And for the most part, this looks like not necessarily health-based options. So your stomach's going to be grumbling if you suck down too much of this stuff. I'm trying to think, like, if this were me, I'd probably go, I feel like I'd go chicken biscuit in the morning. I'm assuming that's like a Chick-fil-A thing, right? Like one of their chicken biscuit things, like that type of is that how you would read that?
I'm not sure about the morning breakfast. I would guess that. They did have chicken sandwiches like later in the day, and they said those were grilled chicken.
Okay, and then they have salad. So I would probably go breakfast sandwich in the morning. Like if I was going to be there all day, I'd probably go breakfast sandwich in the morning. I'd come back around lunch I'd probably try and suck down a salad if there was one to get me a little balance. And then nacho cheese Doritos. Come on, that's the king of all chips, is it not? I mean, am I wrong? Isn't that the king of all chips?
I think it's
Isn't that
pretty
undefeated?
Good.
They're undefeated.
Huge thing. Fan experience nowadays is so few and far between when you can go anywhere and be able to affordably, I know you already paid for the ticket, but affordably eat while you're there. I know some people online, as I scroll through Twitter, They wanted the beer included too. Now that you get a little bit dicey there.
Can't do that.
You can't have the beer included. That's dicey.
We already had enough yelling. We didn't need more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you got real drunk in public.
But the food, that's a huge plus. And then you can also justify the ticket that way. Sometimes when you get any kind of extra incentive, then when you spend the money, you can make up for it inside when you eat 10 hot dogs. And going over the top with the food typically never happens. You even think about going to a Columbus Clippers game on Dime a Dog night.
Sure.
How many Dime a Dogs are you eating? Probably 4 or 5 if you're really getting after it.
Absolutely. What would be your guys' approach here? What would be your game plan with this free setup?
I think I would definitely be laying in heavy into the cheeseburgers. I probably would go donuts early in the morning, and then I would just be rocking probably the cheeseburgers and then Doritos late, maybe a Rice Krispie treat on the way.
Bo, I think the chicken biscuit in the morning is the right way. Maybe grab a donut with that. Then I'm thinking I'm with Isaiah. Grab you a burger and some Doritos. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water to stay hydrated there. And
still spending money on a couple beers.
Yeah, there you go. You know something I can't do? I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I can't do a chicken sandwich with an egg. There's something in my head about the meat of the
chicken
animal
and the egg?
that's producing the egg that I can't do. I just can't do it. People do it. They'll put an egg on a chicken. I'm like, well, hold on. That's mom and baby. It's all happening. I can't do that.
I believe about 6 months ago, Tyvus did this experience at the Bojangles and got an egg on his chicken biscuit, and he said it was life-changing.
I can't do it. It's something mentally I can't do with that. We'll blitz the weekend coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, or struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This is possibly the biggest Honda sale in Ohio.
Lindsay Honda's Trade-a-thon is on. Trade your car, truck, boat, or even motorcycle now. Drive a gas-sipping new 2026 Civic Hatchback Hybrid Sport Touring. A very low $279 a month. Or a new 2026 CRV Hybrid Trail Sport all-wheel drive. Just $369 a month. Do you want more for your trade? See Lindsay Honda now.
Trade-a-thon puts you in the driver's seat for less.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine. Give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good friends. Give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. If you've been in the market for a new home or just wanted to take advantage of lower rates, recent events have shown exactly why Miller Lending chose to offer a way around bad timing with our no closing cost program. With no fees rolled in or charged, including the cost of title insurance, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance free of charge as rates improve. Over the past several months, we spoke to numerous borrowers who had heard rates were coming down and chose to wait. We explained that if rates did fall, you could simply update a few documents and refinance again, but why take the chance? So when rates spiked a 0.5% recently, not only was I disappointed that we couldn't help those who waited, but also for those buying a home who just saw a sharp increase to their monthly payment. So while we can't control the market, we can offer an alternative. Eliminate timing and say goodbye to closing costs forever. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Hey, I'm Pick.
And I'm Bull.
My partner here is making his first do-it-yourself fix-your-own-car video.
How do I look?
Like you need a shave.
I'm serious.
Go!
Hey, this Friday through Monday during Dollar Days at Pick and Pull, every part you pick and pull from the yard is 50% off.
You're such a DIYer and social influencer.
From doors to fenders, every part is half off.
Yeah.
Seats are just $15. Doors are $25. Floor mats are just $1.
Are you posing?
Yeah, influencers pose.
This Friday through Monday, fix your car yourself and save 50% off any part during Dollar Days at Pick and Pull.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. How about those Cleveland Cavaliers? They're back in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2018. They hammered the Pistons last night in Game 7, 125-94. Donovan Mitchell led the way with 26 nice games from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley as well. Allen with 23, Mobley 21 and 12. Aaron Rye's 70-foot putt on the 17th hole was the final nail in the coffin. He wins the PGA Championship at 9 under par. Rye shot a final round 5 under 65, becoming the first Englishman to win the tournament in 109 years. The Cleveland Guardians took round 1 of the Ohio Cup. They beat the Reds 10-3 yesterday. The Guards head to Detroit tonight to start a series with the Tigers at 6:40. At the same time, the Reds in Philly taking on the Phillies. This one's sponsored by United Dairy Farmers. Try UDF's new ice cream quake flavors for the summer, only for a limited time.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Monday edition of the program. We kick it off by blitzing the weekend. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. Visit metalsupermarkets.com/Columbus for all your metal needs.
Bake, lead us off. I believe I had that. What did you have, buddy?
I believe I had that Aaron Rye, as the day was going on yesterday, was going to be okay. It seemed like that he had guys kind of come up and come down, and then this guy would make a charge at him, but he just seemed to be the steadiest guy. So as that round was kind of unfolding and Rye was kind of hitting the back nine, he was like, you know what, I think he's going to be okay here. And then he was not even okay. He just kind of pulled away a little bit there at the end and gets the three-stroke lead. Now, I don't know if anybody had him hitting a 70-foot putt like that that's going to be the signature moment of this win, but he just seemed like the guy that was the most consistent as the day went on.
Yeah. Isaiah?
For me, it was yesterday, and I talked about this with Bake early on. I think I was a little bit of twisting my words in the morning to try to make myself feel better about the Cavs going into Game 7. But I did say yesterday, sometimes when it feels like you're the favorite and you're playing at home in Game 7, if things don't go your way, that arena can get tense really quick. And boy, did it for Detroit yesterday. The Cavs jump all over them. And then the Pistons got kind of tight. The offense wasn't there. Cade couldn't get it going early enough and definitely didn't have the help. But I did have that if you don't put them away early at home in Game 7, your own home court advantage can really work against you.
Isaiah, we talk about that all the time in regard to Buckeye football. It's something that isn't talked about a lot. Home nervy crowd is a lot to overcome, and it can swallow up the home team if you start quickly, and they did yesterday. I believe I had that Ohio weather is absolutely bonkers. Ohio spring is just an insane ride. We are in Canton for lacrosse on Wednesday. I'm sorry, we were there all weekend, but we were there Saturday when I ran into Bob, and we had an hour plus lightning, cold rain delay, right? An hour plus. And when this started, it was probably around 60 degrees, something like that. So plenty cold in all of this. By yesterday, although NBC got hurt, by the time his team played the championship, it was 82 in 24 hours. I mean, it is just a roller coaster every single day. Hopefully we are settled in now. I know this week's got a little bit of stuff, but hopefully we're settled in now and we are to summer and we can kind of enjoy this a little bit. I did not have that, Bake. What did you not have?
I did not have exactly how much sports I would consume this weekend. I was pretty locked in all weekend long on the Ohio Cup Series between the Reds and Guardians. I watched the Preakness on Saturday night.
Yeah.
A lot of the PGA Championship on the weekend, and then I watched all but like the last 4 or 5 minutes of the Cavs game last night. So I was surprised how much the sports would have me, and I was surprised how long I would have that game on last night. I turned it on because I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I stayed, even though it was a blowout, and even though till the very end I was there last night. So I was surprised about that.
For me, I did not have the Guardians just popping off on the Reds yesterday. The home run hitting was pretty unbelievable. Jose Ramirez.
You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah, I'm not rubbing it in the dirt. Jose with one, DeLauder with one, Manzardo with two, Angel Martinez hits one, and then Rocchio puts one in as well. The Guardians' bat's getting hot, and me and Bake were talking yesterday about how the Reds and Guardians, up and down, that's how it goes during the baseball season. But the one thing that's consistent for the Guardians is just the lack of offense over the course of the past couple of years. And seeing them being able to put it together yesterday warmed my heart.
I don't know how I did not have this. I did not have or did not realize that Bob and I have sons the same age. I did not realize that. I knew that our kids were all kind of around the same age, but I did not know that we had one the same age. So his middle, Cullen, and my middle, Beamsy, are the exact same age. They played each other. I didn't even realize it was raining, so I didn't even see Bob there throughout the entire game in the semifinals, and we talked afterwards. But we're going to see a lot of each other here in the next few years. So I did not realize that until this weekend. Knew they were around the same age, but not the exact same age. Player who impressed. Who do you got, Bake?
To me, it's Jared Allen. I know he just keeps taking slings and arrows from the Cavs fans, but every time I've paid attention to a Cavs game, I think that he's been fantastic. And I know Donovan Mitchell, he's the alpha on that team, and he led the way last night. He was in control. But they don't do what they did last night, and they don't play the way that they did without Jared Allen. And I think the dude's kind of unfairly gets some criticism.
I spoke on Don earlier and gave him his flowers, but Sam Merrill taking that charge from Asir Thompson, I mean, into his face. The rest of the game, you just saw him messing with his lips the entire time. I thought he chipped his tooth initially, and then he went on to hit 5 threes, put up 23 points. He was fantastic through the course of that game. And something about Sam Merrill just catch and shoot is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. He has one of the most pure jumpers on the team, and it's nice when he's hitting. And yesterday, played tough after getting absolutely obliterated, taking a charge there.
Always on green, as my kids say, when he shoots. Must be something to do with 2K, I'm guessing. Player who impressed, Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live. I don't watch it regularly, But I love Farrell, and I started getting fed like a lot of the skits from this weekend. It seems like he knocked it out of the park. He's probably my favorite SNL cast member of all time in terms of his ability, and that's saying a lot because they've had some massive ones. But his run, he could play about every single character you'd want. Could do the slapstick stuff, could do the highbrow stuff, and he crushed based on what I saw this weekend on Saturday Night Live.
Or was it Chad Smith?
How great is that off the top, right? Come on. Like, have the Chili Peppers guy, the drummer, come out there, and they look so similar. I just loved it. I thought they what I saw, they crushed it. I'm going to watch the whole episode. Player who disappointed, Bake. Who disappointed for you?
To me, it was the fans at the PGA Championship. And like I said, I know fans for years have been yelling. You had the Baba Booey forever, and I just didn't get it. And it was every shot yesterday, and it was nonsense. And the stuff with Rory that you talked about earlier, Bo, there's just, and I am one of those people that I think golf is too stuffy. I really do. I just don't understand this. Make it make sense to me.
I agree.
Player for me was Tobias Harris yesterday. I mean, really anybody on the Pistons other than Cade Cunningham. He couldn't get a second guy going, and it was what eventually became the biggest fault for them, was they had no offense outside of Cade. If it wasn't Cade, then nobody else was getting buckets yesterday, and Tobias Harris cannot be your number 2. He can barely be your number 3. He had spurts during the playoffs and during the Cavs series where he was solid, but yesterday, 0 for 6 from the field in Game 7. Brutal.
Sure was. Player who disappointed, Tony Petiti. Hey, Tone, we are your fine bomb. Invite us to Rancho Palos Verdes. We'll broadcast this show every day from the pavilion at Terranea. All we need is a little bit of lodging, round of golf. Who gets hurt, Bake? I mean, like, how are we not involved in this? They get Feinbaum up there for SEC. Where are we?
Well, they'll need to sponsor it too, Bo. So all this found money that they've got, they're going to have to throw a little this way so we can get out there and do it.
Just put us on the company jet. We'll do it. We'll take care of the rest. Give us some accommodations. We're ready to go.
It's a Comrex and an internet line. Let's go.
It's all we need. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week, Bake. Who do you got?
To me, it's Justin Hare. The job that he has done here at Ohio State in his 2 seasons is pretty impressive. And I remember when they hired Justin Hare and looking into him, I thought he was the right guy for this job because he's an Ohioan. What he did at Campbell, where he had to do all of his fundraising, really do everything on his own, and he had that program as a contender. I thought that it would work. It was a rough year last year for him, but to go from the bottom of the Big Ten, basically, where you were next to last, to 6th in this week's Big Ten tournament and doing something that the Buckeye baseball team hasn't done since 1994, sweeping Michigan on the road, that's a damn good job out of Justin Hare.
For me, Coach of the Week's coming out of Cleveland. Not the Cavs, not the Gardos, but Todd Monken.
Oh!
As Jeremy Fowler reports, he's hitting off with Deshaun Watson early. He's got some offensive concepts for him that he's excelled in the past. And I'm telling you, people, the breadcrumbs are dropping, and it's coming every week. So be ready in the fall, because I think I know who's starting a quarterback.
Well, if you listen to this show, I've been saying this for a while. How this was trending, was heading in this direction for a while. And this is a cool thing about Todd. He will build it for the talent that he has. He's not saying you got to run my stuff. He will say, what do you like and what can I do to get the best out of it? And he'll build it that way. And the player, think about this from Todd's perspective. Probably the best offenses he ever coordinated are the ones he did for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's best seasons as a pro were there. There are some similarities between those two quarterbacks. So you could kind of see maybe how all of this was going. I'm going to echo you, though, Bake. I think Justin Hare is the answer to this one. You could have gone Kenny Atkinson here. You could have gone into different ways, but I'm going to go Justin Hare. I think that's an incredible job, incredible amount of momentum in a short amount of time in a job that to me felt like a no-way-out job. Now it feels like maybe he could be building something here. I think there's a ceiling on it. Northern baseball is always going to have a ceiling. But I think this has been a hell of a year. And to go to Ann Arbor and get a sweep, good job out of him. All right, coming up next, a letter to the editor? Yeah, that's right. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. An AC tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Proudly serving Columbus homeowners for 90 years and counting. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer savings are heating up at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home in the rugged 2026 Toyota Tacoma for just $299 financing for up to 48 months. Or turn heads in the sporty and stylish 2026 Camry XSE. Lease it for only $399 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. So whether you need truck capability or sedan comfort, Germain Toyota has the next ride waiting. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward here. We all know this weekend is the real start of summer. The grill gets uncovered, the cooler comes out, and your summer clothes start whispering, "Should we tell him?" Don't let your closet run the meeting. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kathy McPhee. Animals have always had my heart, and that is why I'm a proud supporter of American Humane Society. Over the years, I have filled my home with rescue pets. I adopted my sweet Wilma as a senior dog. Some of my most cherished memories are with her. American Humane Society has been protecting animals for 150 years. Your support can save lives. Join us in helping animals in need at AmericanHumane.org.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Call today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you want and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, foreclosures, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Call today and speak with me, John Kozik, for an all-cash offer and the help you need. At 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000, TurboTrackRealty.com.
Good news. Jack has personally invited the Fan to the Memorial Tournament, and we're broadcasting 30 hours of live content, and we'll try not to embarrass ourselves.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling. Visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine today, and it will be breezy, humid, and warm with highs again into the upper 80s to low 90s in some spots. For tonight, mostly cloudy overnight with our lows down into the 70s, and we'll still see those breezy winds, which will persist into your Tuesday. Mostly sunny to start and breezy with chances of showers and storms developing in the afternoon and evening. Highs will be in the upper 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
And join us for the Fan 5K presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. It's the 5K run, 1 mile walk. It's happening Saturday, June 20th at Otterbein. Some of your favorite fan personalities will be there. Brother Bone, Nephew Tyvis, Man, Timmy Hall, Reese, they'll all be there. Every participant gets a finisher's medal and a race shirt, free photos, awesome gifts from Logan Services. The Fan 5K is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. I saw this in the Skull Session from 11 Warriors, who they always do such a great job with that, of kind of rounding everything up. And they saw this in the Columbus Dispatch in their letter to the editor's page. Yeah, we've come a long way from where the gross majority of the folks listening would receive a newspaper every morning. My guess is very few of you do currently, but you're still able to read it online or wherever. And I do think that this type of a forum is one that we all want to make sure that there is a voice, whether it's our medium, and that's one of the things we do with Hi Guys. One of the things we do with certainly the mailbag segment on Thursday. Sites do it with message boards. You just want to make sure that everybody is heard from. And I think a lot of times, probably we're at fault of this too, and I am. We think about college football at the very, very top of it. And we talk about national titles and television and NIL and all of these things. But there is also a very normal constituency that attends these games and has been for years. Oftentimes, we went to the game last year against Ohio. The guy sitting right to the left of us, two guys been going to games together for like 30 years, same seats for 30 years, and it's just part of their routine and part of who they are. So this is a letter to the Dispatch, letter to the editor of the Dispatch, that goes as follows. My wife and I are longtime Ohio State football season ticket holders. After receiving the survey email from Ohio State, reading Rob Aller's comments regarding the stadium restrooms, and finally your published letters, I have a few comments. Rather than having our athletic director and his entourage review the consolidated survey responses from ticket holders and view the recommendations of potential actions to take, why don't they personally experience what we season ticket holders do? This coming season, I suggest they divide up and sit individually in the seats we common folks sit in. No premium seating or seats between the 20-yard lines. And experience what it's like to stand up to let one other ticket holder pass by for their seats, standing in line for concessions and the time they had to wait to use the restrooms. At a game last year, I left my seat with 3 minutes left in the first half to use the restroom and get my wife and me some snacks and bottled water. The lines were so long that I returned to our seats halfway through the third quarter. My wife attempted to contact me, but the weak Wi-Fi did not allow her messages to go through. I believe an experience such as this would provide the AD and his staff more valuable feedback than a filtered survey. He's right, but also there's not a lot of money in this. And that's the sad reality of it, is that this isn't the priority. Maybe it ought to be. Maybe it ought to be. And maybe this idea that he pushes out here is something that they should do. Go sit in Gen Pop. Go sit on a steel bleacher. Go sit without a seat back and go see how good that experience is. Because this guy and the tens of thousands like him are what allow you to get 105,000 people in that place. And their experience had better be good. Because I'm going to tell you something else. His kids aren't going to be doing it. There's a generation of people who are used to going to games. They're going to games. My generation kind of still used to going to games. Most people my age and probably Bake's age who are rabid fans still go to games, love to go to games, and it's a big part of their life. The generation older than us was a big go-to-games generation. My kids' generation is not a big go-to-games generation yet. Now, they're not in control of their own purse strings, and so there's a little bit of that. Isaiah, is your generation a go-to-games generation?
I think it depends on where you live at, where you're from, if your dad took you or not, if that's important to you. But I don't think it's as important to people my age as it was to people older than me.
In fact, I think the term season ticket is going to go the way of the dodo bird. I think people going to every game. Can you imagine, let's use the Jackets. Can you imagine going to 41 hockey games? Now, Bake probably did.
Actually, I can.
Because you did. So you're one of the sickos who does that. Now, but to be fair, you're media.
I'm one of the few.
You're covering the team. So you're doing that. But can you imagine signing up for 41 times going to the arena? Now, I can sell that a little bit because it's winter in Ohio, and now it's something to do on a Tuesday night, and now it's my social too. All of that seems pretty cool. But to go to every game, even in college football, the National Football League, are people going to be buying season tickets and going to 12? You're going to be going to 9 NFL games, no matter what the results are, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the conditions are, what your team's record is, you're going to go? I don't think so. I don't think the generations younger than us are at all. Their standard, their minimum standard for what is acceptable is so high because of what they've become accustomed to.
So I don't think the season ticket is going to totally go away, but I think the season ticket has and is changing in the fact that, and this might be part of the problem with some of the things we talk about, you have a lot of businesses buying season tickets that they use to give out to clients, or they use for business meetings, or to, use it in their sales and attract clients. So it's a ticket that maybe not the same person is using every time. And you also have a lot of people that buy season tickets, especially for Ohio State, just to sell them on the resale market. So you're not going to have, you're still going to have a few, but you're not going to have a whole section that has been coming to games for 30 years and only missed a handful of games. And, they walk in and they're like, hey, Jim, and hey, Bob, and hey, Susie. You're not going to have that anymore. But you still have the season ticket in the fact that people are using them for business purposes, whether that be expanding their business or reselling.
And we're here in Columbus. This isn't just a Horseshoe problem. This is a across the sports landscape problem. Any game you go to in any city, you go up to Cleveland, you go to a Browns game, you're going to have to wait long lines for the bathroom. You're going to have no Wi-Fi when the game's over. Hopefully you keep your loved ones close to you, because if you get separated, you're not finding them. And those are some of the things that they're hard. It's clearly hard for these professional sports organizations, for Ohio State to figure out how to make it work. But also, has anyone attempted? Has anyone attempted to make the fan experience that much better? Has anyone been to a game where there were no lines in the bathroom and you walked out with nachos immediately? Some of it has to be realistic, too.
Well, I'll tell you the place that you can do that, and that's Jerry World. Because when he designed it so you never had to wait for a bathroom or a beer. That's the objective. So are people doing it? Yeah, the Haslams are doing it. That's what they're building that stadium for, so that you're not waiting for beer and all of that. And now, not everybody has those billions to do something like that. And there's certainly, I don't think, are billions hidden in the seat cushions around here to make the shoe what you're going to have, up in Brook Park. That's not in the cards. But I do think that it got late quick for sports and fandom. All of a sudden it snuck up on us, and it's like, oh, we demand more. All of a sudden the TVs got better at home. Cheaper. You can go get an 85-inch TV from one of the warehouses for $1,200. 85-inch HD TV, $1,200. That should be $6,000. It's more affordable than ever. It's better than ever to be at home. And for the longest time, there was arrogance of team owners, people in charge of stadiums and all of it that, well, they'll come because what else are they going to do? Well, if you think that, pressure is being applied to these people now, wait until my kids' generation gets up there. They're in an on-demand lifestyle. They're not waiting for it. Their whole life is. They just talk to a phone and say, hey, play this, do this, watch this, whenever they want. You think they want to wait half of halftime and half of a quarter to get back in their seat? No, they're not. They're not going to do that. And there's a generation that aren't going to do it. And so this is something that ought to be top priority for ROSP, and it's not going to be easy. But making the shoe a place that is consistently a place where people are going to want to go more than just the Ohio State-Michigan game, more than the game against Oregon, more than the game against Bama, that you're just going to want to go every single time and continue to have sellouts. It is a massive issue. Question I want to ask both of you guys in 2 minutes on this front. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. This is the time of year to enjoy some nice weather. Usually the temperature's pretty good. Those nice spring days where you get outside, you just feel that breeze. It's awesome. But coming soon, it's the hot, hot months of summer, and we know in those months, you're going to want your air conditioning running. You're going to want your windows to keep that cold air inside your house. You don't want to lose money running your air conditioner constantly, all because your builder grade or old windows are just not getting the job done. That's where Window Nation comes in. Window Nation's got their buy 4 windows, get 4 free sale going on now. You can replace all the windows in your home for summer and get half of them for free. Plus, you can get 0 down payment and no payments or interest for 2 years. And of course, all Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you can relax knowing your home is protected far into the future. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Schedule your fast free consultation now. WindowNation.com. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free sale going on now. WindowNation.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Reese's mustache is so nice, it has its own area code. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
When you guys go to a game as a fan, if you could pick one thing that is an A+ from that experience, one thing, what is it? So among the options, parking, seating, concessions, bathrooms, Wi-Fi, what is the most singularly most important thing for you when attending a game that will at least get you started and saying, all right, I'm happy now?
I think there's 2 things that would make an experience better for me. I know, but I don't know which one this is.
You're not a rule follower, Bake?
I never have been.
Renegade.
I think cheap, easy, accessible parking is huge. And I love going to Blue Jackets games. It's my number one thing. But I think the best thing in this city is going to a Clippers game, because if there's not everything going on down in the Arena District, you can get cheap, easy parking. It's $8 to get in the door. The concessions aren't awful. They're not great there price-wise, but they're not awful. I think for the price, it's the best thing to do, and one of those is because of the parking.
So parking, what was your second one? Well, we're just curious.
Cheaper concession prices, whether that be a beer or food. Like, some of these concession prices are ridiculous. Like, if you're paying $14 for a 24-ounce beer, they are making so much money, it's unreal.
So basically, you're an Arthur Blank guy, because he kept concessions low for Falcons games. That was his big thing when they built Mercedes-Benz, is he was going to keep concessions low. By the way, they have a Chick-fil-A in there that isn't open on Sundays. So for them, it's open like
insane.
3 times a year for them. It's open for the SEC games that are held there, obviously, but not for many of the Falcons games. Isaiah, what's the number one thing for you?
For me, it's the bathrooms. I have to be able to get up at any moment, get to the bathroom, and not have to wait in a long line. If it's a long line for the bathroom, that adds so much stress because then I'm sitting in my seat as I'm watching the game, and as I can feel having to use the restroom coming on, I have to formulate a game plan on when during this drive I'm going to go, and then how long I'm going to be gone for. So preferably just quick and easy in and out bathroom stops. It cannot be a long process. I'd like to be able to not be stressed out during the game about wetting myself.
I used to have just an iron bladder. Like there was, now I'm old, so now I got to go to the bathroom a lot more. But when I was young, like, I would not go to the restroom an entire game. I'd be able to hold it, like no problems at all. So for me, guys, it's seats. I'm not talking about the angle. I'm talking about the comfortability. And I don't know if it's as I've gotten older, but if you are going to present me with a steel bleacher as my seating option, that is not a fun 4 hours. There's no amount of moving that I can do to make that comfortable. I'm basically going to stand up at every opportunity that I get. So to me, that's the number one thing. That's my number one thing. The rest of the stuff I'll deal with, but if I'm power ranking them, I think the quality of the seat is really important to me as I've gotten older. My kids, I don't know that makes much of a difference to them, but if they're on one of the steel bleachers, that's a tougher sell for them at the shoe. Tougher sell for me, not them.
I guess I haven't sat in one of the steel bleachers in a while, but I know I went down this past fall down to Cincinnati for a Bearcats game with my brother, and the steel bleachers are brutal because your back starts hurting about halfway through the game. It's not comfortable on your butt. It's not fun to be sitting in.
Now, we were in Lawrence, and we had great seats in Lawrence when I took Beamsy to the Kansas game, and they're just wooden bleachers. But you basically stand the whole time because that's just the way that crowd is. So you spend most of the time standing is the way that it kind of goes. But that's the thing that would be most important to me. I think, and I asked Ross about this at the spring practice or the fall practice that he always joins us when we broadcast live out there, and we had him on for a couple of segments. And he gave a very genuine answer to this. But the question I asked him was, how do you manage the overall financial burden of being the athletic director at Ohio State and having to find money and create money and charge more and sponsorships and give me money, but also making Ohio State, which is the state university of Ohio, making it accessible for everyone? And he gave a very genuine answer to it, that is a challenge. It's one that he does not take lightly. I think it's going to be a very delicate walk for him over the next few years, especially as we get into figuring out how they're going to improve Ohio Stadium to the point that you don't have letters like this, to the point that the experience is great for everybody. Here's the overarching problem with Ohio Stadium. It's a really old building. There's certain things you just can't do. And we talked about eventually there's going to have to be a renovation there. It's going to have to be a major one. Is it one where they do like Florida State did or like Kansas did and play and have half the field, half the stadium have attendance and fix one side one season and one side the next? Or is it the type of thing where you play one season worth of home games on the road and play them around the state, play them in Cleveland or Cincinnati or at lower.com, like that type of thing? Is that something that they have to look into at some point? But this is a train coming down the tracks in a big, big way.
To me, Bo, those options that you just said just don't make sense to me because every dollar matters right now. So they're not going to want to lose 1 ounce of revenue in ticket prices for this. And I know people, I don't know, even with a renovation, I don't know how you make more bathrooms at the Shoe. I don't know how you make more concession stands at the Shoe. I know people don't want to hear it, but to me, the best thing to do is build a new Shoe. And I don't know where you get the land, I don't know where you do it, but you build a new Shoe while continuing to play in this one. And then once the new one is done, you can switch. Now, are we there? I don't know if we're there yet. But the one thing I do know is the Shoe is over 100 years old, and it's not getting any younger. and you do a renovation, there's going to be more to come to keep it up and update it. And that's just the way it is. We're already talking about a $400 million renovation at Nationwide Arena that's happening right now. And that's 25 years old, 26 years old. So to me, the smart thing, especially in this era of every penny counts, that's what you're going to have to do.
And it's scary because when that day does come, then the accessibility, when the new shoe comes, it's going to become less for people. The prices are going to be more expensive when it's the new shoe.
No doubt.
You come into a bunch of new hurdles where going to the game isn't as much about fun as it is probably status at that point. You talk about the businesses that have the suites and all the money stuff really comes into play. And we'll see it soon here with Cleveland and their new stadium. They're going to feel that up in Cleveland of being at First Energy versus the new one is going to be more expensive. But that's one of the things that the accessibility of being able to get tickets for the everyday guy becomes less and less the newer things get.
I can't see any scenario how they can build a new shoe. I just don't see it. I don't know where the money. You're talking $2 billion minimum. $2 billion. Maybe, I don't know. What is the Northwestern one? Now, that was years ago. Northwestern football stadium cost. Okay, so this one's going to only have 35,000, privately financed, no taxpayer funds, $480 million, anchor donation from the Ryan family. So the Ryan family gave 480, but what's the total cost?
So I'm seeing 862 million.
Yep.
862 million for 35,000 seats. So it's going to be $2 billion here because you're going to have at least, what's minimum seating? 90? 100? So you're talking $2 billion. Where's that coming from? You need an anchor donation of $1 billion just to get it done. So I don't think they're ever building a new shoe. I think that they are going to try to lipstick a pig this thing the best they can. But can you imagine, Bake, you were in building, contracting, that type of work. Can you imagine walking in to Ohio Stadium as like a renovator, even on a grand scheme, and where do you start?
Exactly.
Where do you start? Like, we could throw $500 million at this and you might not even feel it.
And that's my thing, where are you throwing good money over bad?
I think it's the right point. I just don't see a scenario how they're going to raise $2 billion. But I think that's the thing I think of the more and more. Like, imagine just walking in with a crew and being like, all right, we got $500 million. What's the best way to do this?
Maybe.
Well, okay, seat backs at every. Okay, well, that'll cost $110 million. Now, what are we going to do with now what? Now what do we tackle?
Kroger is a fine sponsor of Ohio State athletics. Maybe you can ask them to round up for the new shoe.
Everything's a roundup for the new shoe. Well, you'd make some money that way. Certainly would. 3 things on a Monday coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Welcome back to What Is That Thing? Today our guest is
Dr. Melvin Parsbrucker. I invented the sump pump.
Ah, the sump pump. I've heard Apex pros talk about those.
Yes, the pros who knows are true experts in sump pumpology.
So, Doctor, what is that thing?
You see, a sump pump is a device designed to pump out sump.
Sump?
For the pump.
You say the pumps?
Sump.
Sump. And what exactly is sump?
It's what gets pumped.
I want to be sure I'm hearing you right. Sump?
Sump.
And that's what gets
pumped. Look, maybe Apex Pros can explain it at your level.
Well, Apex Pros says sump pumps are made to keep groundwater from accumulating and flooding your basement, especially this time of year with the big spring rains and the uniquely shallow water table in and around Franklin County. A simple sump pump can protect your home from tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
It's made to sump the pump.
Of course.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, a new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good days, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Guess which store is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and you'll get up to $180 off sets of Goodyear tires. Okay, here's a hint.
BMI Federal Credit Union is celebrating their 90th anniversary all year long with monthly sweepstakes. Get in on your chance to win free gas for a year when you lower your car payment with a BMI FCU auto loan. Apply today at bmifcu.org/gas.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
Spring is here, but if you're still feeling exhausted with no sex drive, it may be time to head to Low T Center. You can book a free testosterone test at Low T Center and see if you qualify for TRT customized to you. Head to lowtcenter.com and book your TRT appointment today.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Game 7 tonight on the ice.
Sure do.
That's a fun one. Buffalo, Montreal.
That whole series has been fun.
That building will be an electric factory tonight. Like the stakes for those two franchises. And does Colorado Vegas start tonight too?
No, I actually don't even think it's tomorrow. I think they start Wednesday.
Okay, and that's the heavy hitter there.
Yeah,
right?
they'll start Wednesday, and then the Eastern Conference Finals or that series will start on Thursday.
Did you understand what Torts got fined for? So he was massively fined, and then they pulled a second-round pick from Vegas because he was withholding from media. Was that what it was in Vegas?
Yeah, we had this in Thing or Not a Thing today, but we didn't get to it. So The NHL says that your dressing room has to be open to the media for 30 minutes after the game, and also Torts has to talk to the media. They closed their dressing room, and Torts refused to talk to the media. A couple players did come outside and talk, but the whole dressing room is supposed to be open in the playoffs, so they hit them big time.
Yeah, they're not going to tolerate it. They're growing the sport that's rating like crazy on ESPN. Take advantage of it. I love Torts, but come on now.
It's the playoffs. What are we doing here?
Come on, buddy.
It's just weird after a game 7 that they were a game that they won the series, they would do that.
Knowing him, I'm sure, and I'm not following the series, but my hunch is that it was retaliatory for something, and he was using it to rally his guys. One more everybody's against us thing is my guess.
And if you win the cup, who cares?
If you win the cup, who cares? Absolutely. What do you got in the poll today, Bick?
The Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. What was the best sporting event over the weekend? You have 80% going with the Cavs and Pistons Game 7, 20% with the PGA Championship, and a 0% for the Ronda Rousey Gino Carano MMA debut on Netflix.
I believe that's a Gina Carano.
Or Gina. I say Gino. Maddie and I were just yelling about the Reds out there, and we were talking about Gino Suarez coming back.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, very good. Time for 3 things. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me, my father-in-law, who I adore, incredible man. His birthday was in April. So yesterday, they spent most of the winter in California, so they come back. And yesterday, everyone was able to get together for family dinner. And my mother-in-law made him whatever he wanted for dinner. He chose Thanksgiving. Full Thanksgiving spread. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. Now, we all know that I think that's an overrated bird in terms of the turkey, but I love the fact that A, she said, okay, fine, I'll make Thanksgiving in May, and B, of all the meals that's his favorite homemade, that's number 1 is remarkable. Great job. Happy 75, Pops. That's great.
I'm not going to lie, I see nothing wrong with that.
No, I didn't either.
Frankly.
I mean, it's not for me, but I think that's spectacular. Now, I will say at 82 degrees, it was kind of weird sucking down some stuffing. That was a choice.
First thing for me, Bo, you mentioned the Game 7 tonight in the NHL. If you're a Jackets fan and you're missing some Jackets-related hockey, the World Championships are going on right now. Over the weekend, Team USA got a 5-1 win over Great Britain. In that game, Matthew Olivier, who's wearing an A for Team USA, had a goal and 2 assists. Now, it's not going so good for Team USA right now as they are losing to Finland 5-1. Team Canada is 2-0 in the World Championship so far. They are scoreless right now with Denmark. Jet Greaves is the goaltender in that game. It is his second game out of 3 for Canada in this tournament. He got a win in his first one. And also the Cleveland Monsters are still alive in the AHL playoffs. They're heading to Toronto. Their series with them is tied at 1 game apiece. They will play on Wednesday night as well. So still some Jackets hockey, related hockey going on.
First thing for me, over the weekend, I'm not a big try something new when I go out to eat. That's too much of a risk for me. If I'm going to order something at a restaurant, I have to know that I'm going to like it. I'm a cheapo. I can't order something and not like it. But over the weekend, I got an opportunity to try something I've wanted to order at restaurants many a times. Hamburger with a fried egg on it. Never had it in my life.
Good.
Really?
Love it.
And every time I would go out to eat, I would always see it. I'm like, I feel like I would like that, but I never had the strength to risk it and order it, because if I didn't like it, then I'm out $15 or whatever it is. Had it yesterday at a cookout, so now I can officially order it at restaurants because I know that I like it. So that was a huge win for me over the weekend.
Didn't have the strength. That's great. Number 2 for me, I'm always interested in number stuff, and I see the Browns just putting out on their social channels that Casey Concepcion is going to wear number 1. He was going to wear number 17, was issued 17, and that was his number, and Quinshon Judkins was going from 10 to 1. Well, now he's in 1. So is Judkins staying at 10? Now, they've already given that to Justin Jefferson, who's a linebacker, because anticipating Quinshon was going to go to 1. And I'm sure just Quinshon's going to stay at 10. They'll move the linebacker. But I do think that was interesting because Quinshon was set for 1.
Casey Concepcion paying up big time, huh?
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. Something's up there.
We talked about the Buckeye baseball team and the run they're on. Don't miss them tomorrow night as they begin Big Ten play in Omaha. Opening round, they're taking on Washington. We will have all the action for you right here on The Fan. The late start time here on The Fan of 9:55 p.m.
Jeez.
Good luck, Tyler. That'll be a late night for you. Coming up next, we got Rothman and Ice, 1 p.m. The floor is yours. Your chance to come on the air, celebrate the Cavs, rue the Reds yesterday, pump up the Gardos. Coming up at 2:30, we got Ian Fitzsimmons joining Rothman and Ice, talking some college football.
Well, you have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're up against it. No time for 3 today. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.